What's going on? What's going on, film fam? Welcome to another episode of Let the Film Speak. I am one of your hosts, Chop. Here with my main man, Willie Jack. Willie Jack, how you doing this evening, my dog?
Hey, man, I'm feeling good, feeling great, man. It's Wednesday at 7 o'clock, and my dog is back, man. So I'm talking ball with my dog, so you know I feel good about that, man. Welcome home, big dog. It's good
I
to have
know,
you back,
man.
man.
Well, hey, welcome home to me, man. I'm so happy to be back, Willie Jack. I've been gone. You know what I'm saying? I've been watching you get on here, man. I've been watching a few of these games. I missed a bunch of games, you know what I'm saying, over on this while I'm on this ocean and ain't got no service. I ain't got access to nothing. I barely was able to get my picks in, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just happy to be back, Willie Jack.
I got you.
Football with my dog, my man.
Yes, Sirski. Yes, Sirski. Them members already followed in the building, too. Appreciate all y'all. See, look at this, man. Look, Mama, where you been at? I was starting to wonder if you love your son. Mama was first in the chat today. It's been a while. She was smoking y'all for a while, boy. Then I tell you, it's been a while. Good to see you in here on time. Mama, appreciate you as always. Man,
Right
let's see.
on.
Day one
Right
gang
on.
Jarrell in this thing as well, man. What's going on with the film? So, you know, our dog holding us down. Baby sister, auntie in the building as well. She said, what's going on, nephews? Appreciate y'all.
There you go, man. Film fam check in right away, man. Y'all in this building, and I just want to let y'all know we appreciate y'all. But since y'all already in the house, I know y'all know the house rules. You know what I'm saying? Y'all been a part of this for a long time. But I'm gonna go through the house rules anyway. Of course, this is the week 6 recap. We're gonna run through all the games from week 6. You know, I did get a chance to catch up. I feel like I'm finally back in the groove of things. You know what I'm saying? We can get this thing rolling. But yeah, I'm gonna run through these house rules, man. For anybody else that's falling through here that isn't sure, you know, what the house rules are, I'm gonna run them for you, man. It's like that, share, that, subscribe, tap in with your dogs. You know what I'm saying? If you're in this chat with us, tap in with us. If you haven't tapped in already, become the newest member of the film fam. You know what I'm saying? Talk to us. We talk back. We appreciate each and every one of y'all for tuning in with us and talking and just bringing that football knowledge to the group chat, man. So we definitely appreciate that. Also, don't forget to hit that notification bell, man. You hit that notification bell. How else are you going to know when me and my dog Willie Jack got something going on, when we cooking in the kitchen, you know what I'm saying, when we putting together an event, you know what I'm saying? Y'all in the crib, y'all comfortable and everything, you know, to know what's happening next. Y'all got to hit that notification bell, man. And I guarantee you, I will not let y'all down. Willie Jack, we got some announcements, man.
What's going on?
And I want to make sure I get everybody in on this one, man. Last week's weekly pick'em winner, you know what I'm saying? Just for the week, man. Hey, man, Sierra rolling, man.
Yes, she is.
Rolling, man. She is picking them up and putting them down faster than any one of us right now. So last week she was the winner, man. She came away with 12 wins on that week, man. Tied for second was between your boy, none other, your boy Chop, Mr. Pick Six, and then also short blocks, man. So in tied for second is us three. I'm not gonna run the person after that because that's technically, let me see together. That's technically fifth place. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not even gonna run the person after that. So overall, on the season, man, we are a third of the way through the season, man. We 6 weeks in, Willie Jack. That means we got 12 more to go, dog. 12 more to go. It needs to slow down a little bit. I want the football season to last. But after we are third of the way through the season, man, Sierra's on top, man. She's on top with a total of 64 wins. Right behind her is Pretty Tony. He got 61. Right behind Pretty Tony is Pick'em, then Stick'em. You know what I'm saying? With 60. You know what I'm saying? So those are our top 3 as of right now, man. But I'm on the way. I'm on your heels.
Yeah, man.
I'm starting to pick up a little bit of steam, so y'all better start making sure y'all on point with y'all games each and every week, Willie Jack. How you feeling about it so far, Willie Jack?
No, I was just gonna say, man, when I seen the standings as well, man, because our dog Miles, man, he had been in that first place, man, from the jump. So for all 5 weeks of the season, or 6 weeks, 5-6 weeks where we're at, he had been leading that pick on the whole way through, and Sierra slowly was kind of on his heels, and then to see Sierra take over that number 1 spot, man. So Miles, man, hey, better get on your job, man. Get on your job. Must have been a rough week for you, big dog. I feel like Miles had a couple more than a few game lead on
Hey, Miles was rolling for a minute. He was rolling for a minute. I done left, came back, and Miles then gave up the lead.
For sure.
He messing up the church's money. That's what my dog usually say.
For sure that
messing up the church's money, man.
Yeah.
On to some news, Willie Jack, man. Let's go ahead and jump into it. I know you mentioned it on the last show. I kind of tuned in a little bit, man. I was happy I was able to check it out.
I appreciate you
holding it down for me. And by the way, phenomenal job by my dog. I appreciate you, man. I got you as my partner. I appreciate that. But you talked a little bit about Anthony Richardson, man. Anthony Richardson and that injury. I know I saw some news on it regarding him really considering to go forward with surgery and go ahead and end his season. And it has been confirmed he will be missing the entire 2023 season or the rest of the 2023 season, going out with this injury, man. Willie J, what's your take on this
one? Yeah, man. Like I said, when the news first hit, and I was ignorant to the fact, I guess there's 6 grades of strain for an AC as opposed to 3, but I was thinking it was going to be a done deal when it was announced, and then you learn, okay, well, there's actually 6 grades instead of 3, so the 3 isn't the end all be all. But honestly, at this point, it's one of those things where he's just getting started. They are still competitive in that AFC South, and so nobody's really ran away with that division. But on the whole, maybe what's best, maybe not the best decision for today, but the best decision for tomorrow for sure. Go ahead, get that thing fixed. Go ahead, get that thing worked on. Get it back, and like I said, don't let this be a lingering issue that maybe hampers or shortens his career. It really put me in the mind of Andrew Luck, who these style of injuries, playing through and playing tough, made a career that looked to be a guy who was going to be around for 15 years. He's here for about 6 or 7 because, like I said, it just takes a toll. And so maybe the Colts as an organization, I would imagine, maybe that came into play. And so, hey, let's go ahead and shut it down, get it right, because we're looking at the next 10 years and not necessarily the next 10 games. So I'm not mad at it at all.
Yeah, and I feel the same way too, man. This is a rookie. This is the very first year. Your plan wasn't to do everything that you wanted to do with him this year. Your plan is to have you a franchise quarterback that you can count on for years to come. And the best way to do that is, man, go ahead and knock it out. Make sure everything is good. Make sure he heals properly and is ready to go by the beginning of next season. He already started off the season kind of nicked up, with a couple different injuries. So, you definitely want to protect your guy and figure out, when he does come back, what's the best way to protect him moving forward. So I'm with you there, Willie Jack. Definitely right.
For sure.
On to the next. We got another little bit of news, man. And this one, oldie but goodie, one of my favorite players, man, one of my guys, over the years, he's making a comeback. He's making a comeback. And instantly he becomes the number 1 receiver over with the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm talking about none other than
wait a minute. What's he do now? What's he do?
I said he instantly brings some depth to this Philadelphia Eagles team.
There you go.
That's what I said. I thought I said that. I ain't said that.
I'm tripping.
You was tripping. You ain't hear that right. You ain't hear that right. But yeah, man, the Eagles, they went out, man. They got a veteran, an old veteran, man, and Julio Jones, man. They bring him in the building. Willie Jack, what's your take on that move? What do you think is the reason behind that, and how effective you think it'll be?
Well, honestly, here's the thing about it. I was waiting to hear the news that Julio Jones has signed his 1-day contract with the Atlanta Falcons, so he can go ahead and hang him up. That's the news I was waiting on. When I seen Julio's news in the NFL, I was like, oh, okay. He went ahead and called, old boy, and they're gonna find a soft game for him to come and ride off in the sunset. But to see him sign with the Eagles, and I'm not gonna lie, man, I don't have much of any expectations at all for your boy Julio, man. So he had a fantastic career, man. The second best receiver of his generation. There's no shame in that. You know what I mean? But honestly, they're not looking for him to do a lot anyway. You still got the top 2 dogs there. You got A.J. Brown, who is A.J. Brown is probably the 3rd best receiver in football right now. I'm taking him right behind healthy Justin Jefferson and Tyreek Hill, man. He's playing phenomenal ball. He's giving me hardcore, and I think I might have said this before. He's giving me hardcore T.O. vibes, bro. He's reminding me of like prime San Francisco T.O. right now. The way he's snatching the ball out the air, man, and turning up field with bad intentions. He's turning up the field looking like Marshawn. Like, man, who ready for smoke, man? I'm running through somebody's chest, but he's gonna be that 3rd guy, man, behind him and Devontae Smith. And so I'm not expecting overly much. We didn't get much production out of Quez Watkins in that number 3 role anyway, and so
Right.
you know what I'm saying. And so he's not necessarily. They're not necessarily looking to feel like a big hole at this point. But I hope he does well, man. Maybe he gets to ride out, have a successful run with a championship caliber team on his way out the door.
Might I remind you, Willie Jack? I'm glad you started to mention AJ Brown comparisons to T.O. Might I remind you who I had as my number 3 overall receiver, prediction for the 2023 season. I think his name began with an A, last name began with a B. And I ain't talking about Antonio Brown. I'm talking about AJ. You know what I'm saying? I think I might have said that. You know what I'm saying? But hey, we still only a third of the way through the season. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what's going on.
Oh, and like the wide receiver rankings?
Yeah.
Did you? Okay,
yeah.
No, I think you're right. You did have him higher than me. Yeah, I think I still had I think you did have him higher than me. But he's looking great, man. I'm telling you. Ever since he had to give Jalen Hurts a little bit of that act right, ever since he had to give him a little bit of that act right on the sideline, now I'm like, hey man, you know what I'm saying? You're tripping. And then man, he's been going crazy since then, man. But I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about that game, man, the tough one they just had. But man, he's looking great. I'm telling you, he is looking phenomenal.
Absolutely. So we'll definitely jump into that at some point. I know we will. But hey, we done talked enough about that, man. It's time to jump into these games, Willie Jack. And before we jump in there, do we got some more people in here, man? You need to do another film fam check in.
That's what I was just finna shout him out in the check. I know we had talked to shout him out. But Brother Law said he back in this thing, man. What's going on with you, big dog? We appreciate you. And then a couple more comments, man. Man, our favorite coworker in the building, ZB in this thing, man. And I guess he misheard you earlier as well. That's all that was. He misheard you earlier as well. But yeah, man, he's a fan of that Julio moves, it looks like. And then our dog, man, Day One Gang Jarrell, man. Of course, he's a part of Eagle Gang. Well, I clicked on the wrong comment for you, but he's also excited for that Julio Jones move and thinks even at this age, he's still going to be an upgrade over Quez Watkins. So we'll see.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel like I think they just going to use like a certain skill set of his. They're not expecting him to come in and do anything spectacular or be all Julio. I think it's just maybe a specific skill set that they're looking for that can help with that offense. In terms of the way that they've shown some struggles to this point. So, and we'll jump into that too when we jump into the game. But I'm anxious to see how they're going to use them though, for sure. Definitely with you on there. All right,
I'm talking Julio. Excuse me, I said AJ again. Julio Jones can expect 3-4 targets a game, bro. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I don't think realistically he's going to change the temperature in that room. It's still Smith to Goddard to Devontae Smith to DeAndre Swift, and then Julio. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not looking for much at all,
bro. I wouldn't even be surprised if he lines up in the slot and he blocks a lot of time.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be surprised if he's fine blocking whoever the slot corner is. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what are his main things that they want him to do. He's still a big body, still stronger than your average slot corner guy. So
yeah. I mean, oh no, he's still about 6'3", 220 now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's still off the couch.
Yeah, for sure. So but I can't wait to see him line up though.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. So off into these games, Willie Jack. The first game on the slate, man. We got to talk about that London game. I know you gave a few updates while the game was going on, man, but we got to jump into the actual game. We had Baltimore. I'm not gonna say go to Tennessee, but Baltimore took on Tennessee in London. Baltimore ends up coming away with this W, man. Final score 24-16. Willie Jack, what happened in this game, man?
Honestly, man, Baltimore, fresh off that ass whooping, they was a little fired up on their ride to London. So y'all welcome.
You sat on that W for 2 weeks, huh, Willie Jack?
You did right. You did right. I did. But no, man, Baltimore just clearly was the better team in the game. Just no question about it as well. And they played like that as well. And so a thing about quite honestly, they were the better team 2 weeks ago when they played us, and they didn't play to that level, or they played down to our level, whatever you want to say. But this game, they didn't have that effect. They were the better team on both sides of the ball, and they came out and demonstrated that. Lamar goes 21 for 30 for 223, 1 touchdown, does throw an interception in this game, so not completely clean. Another 60 on the ground. Zay Flowers gets his first touchdown of the season as well. So 6 catches, 50 yards, and a touchdown. And that Baltimore defense did some hunting, man. 6 sacks on the day. Jadeveon Clowney has himself a day, has 2 sacks in this one. And then if you're Tennessee, man, just ugly day on the air in the air. 8 for 16 for 76 yards and 1 interception for Tannehill. Malik Willis plays a good little bit in this game. He goes 4 for 5 for 74 yards, another 17 yards on the ground. Derrick Henry burst one to boost his stats here. He goes 12 for 97 and a touchdown. That includes a 63-yard run in this game. And then disappointment on the other side, man. DeAndre Hopkins, 1 catch for 20 yards, and Tajay Spears, the leading receiver on the day, with 1 catch for 48 yards. And so the Baltimore defense just completely stifling against Tennessee. And then, like I said, outside of the interception from Lamar, like I said, a pretty clean day.
Gotcha. And for Tennessee, man, it's starting to make me feel like, all right, what direction is this team going? You know what I mean? Like, what is the future hold for this team? Like, are they going to eventually try to break this team apart? And this was one of the reasons why I felt like Derrick Henry, and I still feel like this could be the case depending on team situation, but Derrick Henry could be a prime trade candidate in going into the season, because I didn't feel like this Tennessee team was going to be a overly competitive team. I feel like this would end up being Jacksonville's division. Now, don't get me wrong, they haven't just
ran away with the division. Yeah,
ran away with it. I mean, they're a game ahead. They're 4-2 right now, and in a division that looks a little bit more competitive than we thought. Mm-hmm. But I didn't think this Tennessee team would be that competitive. So I felt like, all right, at some point, all right, what do we do? Do we start to rebuild around our young guy? Do we try to get some draft picks for Derrick Henry and give him to a team that's really contending at this moment? You know, that's what I kind of felt for this Tennessee team, and I'm kind of still feeling that way. You know, Hopkins, he coming over, he hasn't done too much, and quite frankly, I don't know if that's just if it's the offense for him anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you got all those things that you're worried about, you know, in regards to this team. But on the other side, like you said, Willie Jack, Baltimore were the better team. They came on, they keep on chugging, they come away with the W. And it's really led by this rushing offense and this good defense. They're second-ranked defense, and they're 5th in rushing yards per game. You know what I'm saying? So the rushing attack, it hasn't went anywhere. With this many weapons that they add and everything that they've done, that hasn't went anywhere. Now, here's my thing, though, Willie Jack. Here's the one thing I'm going to touch on before we go.
Mm-hmm.
This is the reason why I'm still concerned about Baltimore, because when I watch Lamar passing the ball, you know, and trying to make plays in the passing game, you know, without running the ball, they're still having issues, still having trouble. So for me, is it going to come down to the playoffs again? Because we've seen the Baltimore Ravens make the playoffs when Lamar's fully healthy. We've seen it enough. We want to see Lamar take that next step too. Will Lamar be able to get his team over the hump in the playoffs when it comes down to it? You know, and it's going to come down. It's going to be a point where he's going to have to pass the ball. So with them winning the division right now, I'm still kind of worried about what this team is going to look like when it really counts, and when they start playing some real legit teams, you know, down the stretch.
No problem. And I agree with that as well. Like I said, it's one thing to, because like I said, the interception was still it was just a bad throw, or just a bad interception. So you're definitely right. When it's time to play in those more critical moments, especially as the season progresses, we get closer and closer to the playoffs, and in those style of games, man, he'll definitely have to, like I said, man, clean that stuff up if this team's gonna go where we want them to, or where they want to go. And then, man, I'm talking in the chat real quick with our dog, man, ZB, favorite coworker in the building, man. We were talking a little bit about Malik Willis and I guess his performance there. He took a lot of bad sacks on that last drive.
Terrible sacks, man. Some terrible.
Yeah, and he really did. But honestly, one thing that I do want to say about Malik Willis, and I think I agree with what you were saying as well, as far as Tennessee and the outlook of this team. Right. This team, like I say, everybody knows, man, it's no secret. I'm a big fan of Mike Vrabel as a coach, but kind of the thing, like I was saying, I expect them to fight as hard as they can, because I think they're coached extremely well. But at the same time, like I said, I've said before, man, there's only so much you can do, man. If I ain't got the ingredients in the kitchen, I can't, you know what I'm saying? I can't quite cook if I ain't got the ingredients. And so I'm wondering, especially with how Tannehill's looking in this offense itself, how many more games do we get before maybe they go ahead and just turn this thing over and say, you know what? We got 2 young guys in this building. We drafted young quarterbacks back-to-back years, Malik Willis and then Will Levis, who's fell off the face of the planet, it feels like. But at what point maybe do we see that maybe they just say, hey, Tannehill, go ahead and set it down, man, and let's let these two young guys duke it out and just see if there's anything there, or do we go right back to the wishing well? And at the pace they're going, man, they may end up with a top 10 pick and have a shot at another quarterback. And this class looks to be it may be a deep class as well. So I'm wondering maybe how long we get before that comes to consideration.
Absolutely. I'm gonna be paying attention to that, Willie Jack. We probably got a few more weeks. They probably got to be out of contention for sure.
Yeah,
I feel like there's no hope before they do that, but I'll be paying attention to that too, Willie Jack. On to the next one. On to the next game, and we have Washington go to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. Washington comes away with this road W, man. They win this game 24-16. And for me, when I watched this one, man, it was a pretty efficient day for Washington, man. They did all the basic things well. There was no mistakes or turnovers. They capitalized on a lot of mistakes from Atlanta. And the secondary came up big, man. Like when they came up big when it counted. Now, don't get me wrong, Ritter did have some moments in this game, where he opened up that offense and passed and was pushing the ball down the field very well. But 3 interceptions. That's crucial, man. That will kill you every single time, especially against pretty good teams. Not that Washington is one of the better teams in this league, but that's gonna hurt you every single time when you in the game. You throwing interceptions. Here's my other thing, and we keep calling for it, and I don't know what it is with Atlanta, Willie Jack. I don't know what's going on, man. Atlanta and their weapons. Bijan Robinson has already proved and shown himself to be one of the best backs in the league. Already has shown that clearly. There's no way he should have equal carries to Tyler Algier. There's no way this should be 13-13. Give Bijan Robinson the ball, man. Especially in a lot of those key situations. Give him the ball. That is your guy. He is probably the best player on your offense. Has proven that already to me through the first 6 games of the season. He needs more. He needs more. He needs a little bit more. Get that man a rock. Tyler Algier, I understand you don't want to just run him in the dirt, but come on, man. It's about that time. All right, it's about that time, and we don't have much time to wait because we done seen y'all draft weapons. Drake London has shown to be a solid offensive weapon. We know what Cal Pitts can be. We want to see y'all utilize him. That's all we want to see. And y'all got a good offensive line. So a lot of people watching y'all they feel like y'all are just a quarterback away. And right now, Ritter's not getting it done. So you got to figure out a way to get these guys the ball in their hand some way, form of fashion, so that y'all offense can operate as good as it can be at this moment with Ritter backing y'all up. But other than that, man, like I said, solid game for Washington, man. They played pretty solid and clean ball, both sides of the ball, and they came out and they got the job done. That's what got them this W this game, winning this one 24-16.
No, and I agree with a lot of stuff you said, man. Like I said, pretty clean day for Washington. Like I said, when the other team throws 3 interceptions, like I said, you don't have to make the job. Don't make the day too much harder on yourself. So Hal goes only 150 yards in the air, does throw 3 touchdowns himself. Let me see here. Let me see. I think, like I said, you summed up everything pretty good in this one. Now, the only thing I say about Bijan is, well, with this game, they had the same amount of touches, but with the 13, I think Algier may have outgained him on the same amount of carries because he had 13 carries, but he only had 37 yards on the 13. Now, he did have another 40 yards in the air.
That just sounds like 13 less opportunities for Bijan.
And that's a good point. And that's what I was just gonna say next is one of those things where, I mean, if we give him 13 chances, if we give him 13 more chances, then like we tell ourselves, okay, it's 13 more chances for him to get one to pop. But at the same time, just like you said, man, maybe we don't necessarily have to burn them out right out the gate. You know what I mean? Right. So I think that's got to be in consideration as well. But okay. I do agree with you saying though, like we should find maybe let's get those carries closer to 18 before we, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 18. Yeah, what if instead of 13 and 13, we gave Bijan 18 and gave Tyler Algier 8? You know what I'm saying? What if we have this stretch, especially in the goal line where y'all inside the 8-yard line and you giving the ball to Tyler Algier when you need a touchdown? It's crucial moments in the game, and that's what you banking on. No, crucial moments in the game, you banking on your big dogs, the guys that you went up high in the draft to get. Them the guys you want the ball in the hands of. You know what I'm saying? So that was my thing. So
no, that's a fair point. That was
a
fair point for sure.
You got it.
For sure.
Excellent. All right, we on to the next, Willie Jack. You got
anything?
Okay, cool. All right, man. On to the next game. We had the Minnesota Vikings, man. Minnesota Vikings, they went to Chicago to take on the Bears, man. Two teams suffered, with some tough injuries. Minnesota ends up coming away with this W. They win this one 19-13. Willie Jack, what was your take on this one?
Man, that was just ugly football, man. Just it looked just like kind of sloppy football all the way around there. Minnesota does get the win, 21-31, 181 yards in the air for Kirk Cousins, 1 touchdown. Did lose 2 fumbles in the game as well. I wanted to see Jordan Addison, how he would perform being the number 1 guy with Justin Jefferson being out. And I think this being the first game with him assuming that role. Tough day at the office, man. 3 for 28. Does get into the end zone, though, and so which is a plus. And that's one thing we can say about him thus far this season. He's gotten the paint now. I want to say if they've played 4 or 5 games now, I think he scored in every game he's played in, or maybe he scored in all of them but one. But it feels like he's a regular in the end zone, and so kudos there. And then for that Minnesota defense, they definitely they were active and they were hunting, man. So we talked about them kind of slowly looking like they're playing a little better week by week with Brian Flores there. They had 5 sacks in this game. They've got a fumble recovery for a touchdown by Jordan Hicks, who had a big day. 10 tackles, had that fumble recovery for a touchdown. He also had an interception in this game as well. And so, like I said, big day for him. Daniil Hunter had 2 of those sacks for that defense as well. On the other side, Justin Fields, 6 for 10, 58 yards, does throw an interception on a matter of fact, the interception that went to Jordan Hicks. It was a tip pass that Jordan Hicks recovered in the air. Big news from this game, of course, like my dog said. Jordan, I can't talk.
Justin, you good, bro? You all right?
I was finna say Jordan, Jerry, Jericho, Jeremiah. I was gonna say everybody except Justin.
Everybody
Justin Fields breaks his throwing hand thumb or dislocates his thumb, the thumb on his throwing hand. I don't know if they said it was dislocated or if he actually broke it.
Dislocated.
Okay, there we go. So dislocates his thumb in this game, doesn't finish. Rookie Tyler Bagent comes in and doesn't perform well at all either. But like I said, man, so ugly game all the way around, but Minnesota does find a way to win, man, 19-13.
Gotcha. All right. And as far as when I saw a little bit of this game, yes, it was a sloppy game all the way around and surprisingly low scoring. I thought this game, even with some of the injuries that happened in this game, I thought it was going to be a lot more points because neither one of these defenses stopped anybody. I thought Justin Fields was going to be able to at least get away and run the ball. But even in a low scoring game, this game played out kind of like I thought it would. And I wanted to go back into your pregame speech, Willie Jack, and pull up when I made my comment. I just wanted to pull it up for the comment. I wasn't listening to you.
What's the comment?
I don't want to trip on you. But I was saying that Brian Flores likes to bring the blitz, and Justin Fields likes to hold the ball.
Hold on to the ball for sure.
And guess what? Sacked 4 times in this game before exiting. Before even getting out of the game, before leaving this game, sacked 4 times, man.
The first play of the game was a sack.
Yeah, first play, man.
Was just a blind. I don't know what happened with the left tackle. Just a blind, and the left tackle is solid. They left tackle Christian Darrisaw's been balling. He's a top 5 left tackle in the game this season for sure. And so I don't know what the miscommunication was there. I'm assuming maybe they had some type of down or zone block, and maybe they were thinking it was they were going to read him, so they left him butt naked. And yeah, Justin Fields was not on the same page, just get smoked. And so, that was a good call. Like you definitely did say that. Did say that.
Gotcha. And then they bring in rookie Tyson. I think it's Baggett. He played pretty solid, 10 of 14 with a rushing TD, but he threw that crucial interception late. And it was actually the Minnesota defense that won them the game or sealed the deal for them.
No, for sure.
That crucial interception late in the game. And for Minnesota, man, it was just without Justin Jefferson. This is why having depth is important because collectively these guys got it done. So even though they were missing their best weapon, they still had Osborne, Addison, TJ Hockenson, and collectively those guys got it done. You saw big catches from Osborne, you saw catches from Addison, Hockenson doing his job. Like you saw all those guys kind of come together. Madison even had a couple different plays that he made in this game. So with all those guys together, they were able to do enough to get the job done. Not as much as I thought Minnesota was going to be able to do in this game, but still, they come away with this W, man. So kudos to them for at least, getting their part done. And
I know. Win is a win. Now, win is a win is a win.
It counts. It counts for these
guys.
It's count. All right. Here we go. What we got here? All right. On to the next one, man. Seattle. goes to Cincinnati to tank on the Bengals, and Bengals come away with this W, 17-13.
Yeah.
Was this your game of the week, man? Was this your
Man,
game of the week?
it was, man, because this is the game I wanted to see. I wanted to see Cincinnati coming off of the first week in which we saw what looks like the return of Joe Burrow. It had been so ugly. Then they have they show up and it looks like they're back in midseason form last week, him and Jamar Chase. So I wanted to see against a quality opponent in Seattle coming to your crib. I want to see, okay, is Joe Burrow really back? Did they flip that switch and turn it right back on? And so I don't feel like I got that answer, but that team did find a way to win, which is the most important thing. On the day, Joe goes 24 for 35, 185, does have 2 touchdowns and throws an interception. Jamar Chase, 6 for 80. Tyler Boyd, 38 yards and a touchdown in this game as well. But the story for me for Cincinnati, man, well, in a 13-17 game anyway, we could talk about both defenses, but Cincinnati's defense, that secondary in particular, like they are playing some ball, man. And so I want to say I heard some stats from, I don't know if it was PFF. I heard some stats, some type of advanced stats or metrics or something like that, but about Cam Taylor Britt and DJ Turner, man, the young speedy corner out of Michigan. And man, they are playing ball. Like both these guys are rangy guys. DJ Turner ran like 4.2 something at the combine, if I remember. And Cam Taylor Britt was also a speedy guy, maybe a 4.3, 4.4 guy. But man, they're playing damn good ball. On the other side, man, my dog Big Gino. The chances were there to win. He goes 27 for 41, 323, throws 2 interceptions in this one. Kenneth Walker goes 19 for 62 on a touchdown. Lockett 6 for 94, and Metcalf 4 for 69. Man, the way this game started, Seattle came right out and drove right down the field. I mean, you can't script it any better. They come out, it's an 8-minute drive. They go right down the field and then they score. And then after that, man, it slowed down drastically. Like I said, no more touchdowns, 2 more field goals in this game. But like I said, man, defensive battle for sure. Like I said, both teams I think left a couple points on the field in this one. And Cincinnati holds on and gets this one done at the crib, man, and gets a much needed win. They've got a very ugly stretch of schedules coming up, man. They go on a bye week and then they come back and they get, I want to say, San Francisco, Buffalo, and maybe Miami. I want to say it's an ugly stretch of games coming up for these Bengals, man. So they needed this one. They needed this one for sure. Absolutely. And then hold on, man. Hold on. I'm gonna pass it to you. But hold on.
Do your thing. Go ahead.
Now I got my dog OJ Dubs in the building, man. That's our dog Big Juice, man. He was at Central with us for a little bit, man. Now he's a Seahawks fan. Gino is looking trash right now. That's too strong, big dog. That's way strong. That's way.
Hey,
strong,
Dubs might be
man.
on to something, dog.
Man, hell no, man.
He might be on to something, dog.
That's way strong. That's way strong, man. Cincinnati's front line did a good job as well, man, keeping Gino uncomfortable, man. There was a lot of pressure in this game for sure. But nah, man, Gino, that's way strong, man. I can't believe he would even dare to say such a thing, man. He must
Willie
still
Jack,
miss the old
I know you ain't with that, man. I know you ain't with that.
Yeah.
I know you're not gonna ride with it because you still feel like it's Big Gino. But that was one of my takes from this game, man. One of my takes was not going to be that. I wasn't going to say Gino is trash. I wasn't going to say he's looking trash. But I will say that Gino is looking like the Gino that I thought he was going to look like from jump. This is the Gino that I thought we were going to see more of. Last year, Gino played some really good ball last year. Really good ball. But I think this is the real Gino, the back down to earth Gino. The after we seen the full season of surprise Gino, we seeing, all right, we know what you bring to the table. We know your skills. We know your we know what you like to do. We know what you don't like to do. We know your strengths and weaknesses now. So now we know you a little bit more. So now it's like, all right, you gotta play some ball now, Gino. You gotta actually be Big Gino. Now
y'all wildin', man.
I'm wilding. What did I say that was wild? That was wild.
Y'all wilding, man. Y'all wilding, man.
What I say that was wild? Willie? I didn't say he was trash.
Man.
I'm not agreeing with trash. I ain't agreeing with that. He ain't trash. That's not what I'm saying, Willie. I just want you to hear me out. Last year, he was borderline playing top 10 ball. Borderline.
It wasn't even borderline. He was top 10 last year. Y'all tripping.
Okay.
Big Gino was top 10 last year.
It's arguable.
Yeah.
That's
we we also
that's
talk about the league leader in passing accuracy last season as well, man. And he averaged,
right.
and it wasn't dink and dunk, man. Man, he balled last year.
Really,
Man.
really, and I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you, bro. If anybody put him outside the top 10, he was probably 11 or 12. No, I wouldn't say no farther than that last year. But we talking about last year. This year, that's what I'm talking about. We talking about this year, dog. This year, he ain't playing quite at that level right now. You know what I'm saying? I ain't say it was trash, but he ain't playing at that level. He ain't playing at the same level. So that's all I'm saying. But jumping into the game, though. This is exactly what you would want if you are a Cincinnati Bengals fan. It's getting this W. Also, with this, I will say Burrow's definitely getting healthier. I saw him using his legs a lot more in this game than we've seen in the games. And we didn't see him come up limping. We didn't see him come up hobbling. And guess what? Now he's on the bye week. So now I expect Joe Burrow to come back 100% and ready to go. You know, when they come across this bye week and they got San Francisco, you know, ready to put up a fight in this game, because that's going to be a tough matchup. You already mentioned it, and we know what it's going to be like with Buffalo. That might be it might be like a diet rival game if that makes sense.
You those are the 2 of the 3 teams at the top. So yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. And Buffalo is definitely gonna have a bad taste in their mouth for what Cincinnati did to them in their house in the playoffs last year. Then, of course, you know, they have the incident. This is the same 2 teams that had the incident with DeMar Hamlin in the regular season last year. So these teams got some history. You know, it's gonna be some feelings played in this game. It's gonna be some hard fought games, man. So the best man is gonna have to come to eat. So they got some tough games. But like I said, this is exactly what you want from Cincinnati. You want your guys to be getting healthy at this moment, going into the bye week, and now you can got some time to fully prepare with Burrow 100%, getting ready for this next team. Now, I would say this about Seattle. Okay, the offense didn't play as well. But that defense, man, with Jamal Adams back, it's looking like that's going to be something nice together, man. And I know we talked about them being not necessarily the Legion of Boom, but what was it? What was the other name we came up with, Willie Jack? We came up with something, man. Somebody came up with a name for for the Seattle defense, man.
Oh, damn, what did I say? Yeah, when they had what was coming over? Oh, man, it's going to have to come to me. Hold on.
Yeah, it's going to come. Yeah. It's going to come, man. It's going to come. But we saw some things from this defense to show like, hey, these guys, there ain't gonna be no pushover. It's not gonna be easy trying to get a W against this team. So that's what I'm looking at, and hey, that's what the part that I'm anxious to see about the Seattle team, and I think that's the part of their team that can actually carry them. So we'll see as the season goes along.
No, for sure, man. Like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and let that breathe, man. Y'all was going. I was in the air. Y'all was going too hard on.
I ain't going that hard on. Anyway, man, let's go to the next one, man. And we had. Can you call this an upset? We had San Francisco.
No, I think it's quite first update, man. PJ Walker signed that week and started at quarterback.
Oh, you right. Upset. That's upset. San Francisco goes to Cleveland to take on the Browns, man. The Browns come away with this W. They win this one 19-17, man. 19-17. And here's my take on this one. All right, here's my take. Oh, man, I just skipped my notes, man. Let me go back. Here we go.
Okay, there you go.
Don't worry, here we go. So here's the thing. And I'm playing out this narrative, man. San Francisco is one of the hottest teams in football. Okay, one of the hottest teams in football. They going into this game. All right, Cleveland was without Chubb. They without Watson. Okay, easy W, right? That's what most people would feel like. I feel like when people were picking them games and weekly pick them, they was like, oh man, Watson ain't playing. Chubb out. Oh man, San Francisco rolling. Ain't nothing they can do. Cleveland had different plans. Cleveland said, "Hey, y'all ain't never been over here. Y'all ain't never been in this. Y'all ain't never been in this jungle right here. This different. This ain't what you thought it was. Mm-hmm. We ain't the number one defense for nothing. Yeah, y'all was the number one defense last year, but hey, this is a new sheriff in town. You know, we the number one defense this year, and all the hype for Baltimore, Cincinnati, and even a little bit for Pittsburgh going into the season. Cleveland, the way they've looked." Just as a team, if they can get this offense together, we only seen 1 week of good Deshaun Watson, so we don't know what he's gonna be when he comes back. But this could be the best team in this division right now. They could be, man. Like I said, they got the number one defense, man. They could be the best team. And I think they only going to get better as the season goes along. Kareem Hunt starting to get his legs up under him. Don't forget Kareem Hunt just a few years ago was one of the best backs in the league. I think he may have been a Russian leader or something like that. He led the league in something when he was over with the Chiefs. Don't forget who this guy was. So we got Kareem Hunt starting to get his legs back on him, and I don't think it's going to be too long before I think he actually takes over this job as the starting running back, and then we're going to actually get to see, what this Cleveland team is fully capable of. But, man, right now they playing some great ball. San Francisco, unfortunately, comes away with injuries in this one from Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel. There is a possibility that they play for this Monday night game, but with those two guys out, we started to see them not look like the well-oiled machines a little bit, man, and going against, Myles Garrett and them boys, man. So we'll see if these guys end up playing. But I think San Francisco's going to be all right. I'm not taking too much away from San Francisco in this particular game. They played a tough defense. I'm saying? It was just a tough matchup, man. In Cleveland, a little bit of some shaky weather. So I'm not taking too much away. I think San Francisco's still going to be all right. But Cleveland is showing me something. That was an impressive win for me, for sure.
Well, and here's the thing about this one as well. And so I definitely, like I said, I definitely feel it was an upset for sure. Like I said, PJ Walker signed that week and makes a start. And then
your dog would love me some PJ too.
No, my dog Charlie was a big fan of PJ, man. When he came over from I don't know if it was the USFL or the XFL, but one of those other kind of subsidiary, what are not officially
probably both. I think he played in both.
He may have, bro. Then he had a little run with the Panthers, and so Charles definitely been cheering him on. But he goes 18 for 34, 192 yards, does throw 2 interceptions in this game. Now, here's the only thing I'll say as well. We did get a Kareem Hunt sighting in the end zone in this game, but Jerome Ford's not didn't underperform, so I don't even think it's a thing where Kareem Hunt has to take over as a starter. Jerome Ford goes 17 for 84 to Hunt's 12 for 47, and he does get that touchdown. Hunt also has another 24 yards receiving. Amari Cooper, man, had himself a day today. 4 for 108, has it was like a 55, 60 yard catch.
The man beat him.
And he was out there on display. And then I saw a good stat here as far as Myles Garrett. Now, Myles Garrett didn't have a sack in this game, but I saw this on PFF. They said he won 31% of his rush attempts against Trent Williams, even though he didn't get a sack in this game. But that's one out of every 3 rushes was essentially considered a rush win. Like he won the snap. Now the ball gets out or he doesn't get a chance to get home. But that's not only is that just an impressive stat just on its own. That's against Trent Williams now. That's against Trent Williams. So that's a phenomenal clip of, I guess, qualified win rate.
There is a clip out, Willie Jack, of Myles Garrett tossing that boy Trent.
Oh, I seen it. Look,
that's a clip out.
Man, I saw it. Yeah, the little baby Reggie White actually, man, that little one here. Get your ass on, boy.
That boy Myles a freak now.
It's a clip out. I seen that. Now, in fairness, like you said, now Trent Williams did go down in this game with an injury. Now he was able to come back and finish the game, thankfully. But then, like my dog said, man, best in the business, C-Mac goes. He starts this game out pretty hot, man. So he had 2 very explosive plays that I think in the first quarter it capped off by that touchdown run, the touchdown reception. But he goes down and doesn't return this game. Deebo the same thing. But if you're Seattle, one thing I want to keep in context here.
You mean Cleveland?
No, San Francisco. I want to keep this in context if you're San Francisco. So you do go on the road. It's a cold, it's a rainy, wet, kind of sloppy game. Cleveland's defense is playing phenomenal. You lose. You play a bulk of this game minus your 3 best players on offense, and then also your rookie kicker. He misses 2 field goals in this game, and you lose this game on the road by 2 points. Like I said, and then even the field goal they missed at the end of this game, which kind of clinched it for Cleveland. It's a 40-yard field goal. It's a
41-yarder. It should be money.
Exactly. And so as terrible as things went for San Francisco and all these things happen, you still, more times than not, you probably still end up winning that game in the ugliest of fashions. And so you lose that game. So no worries at all if you're San Francisco. Only worries is if we're going to be without our stars going forward. And then Brock Purdy, man, coming back down to earth these last few games, it feels like. Now in this one, of course, like I said, with missing 2 of his studs on offense. But just in general, man, these last few games, he's kind of came back down to earth a little bit, not playing as clean as we had seen before. Goes 12 for 27, 125 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and a fumble loss in this one as well. But Let me see. No, other than that, man, I think you hit the nail on the head. If you're Cleveland, you got to feel great about this. You can't have felt great going into this game knowing you just signed PJ Walker off his couch Tuesday morning. You know what I'm saying? And then to find a way to still get this done. So, kudos to those guys and all that good stuff. And then last thing I will say, man, about Watson. Don't forget, man. Now Watson was there when he lost to my Steelers. So let's slow down with all the Cleveland talk. Let's not go too far. You know what I'm saying? Let's not go too far, but now you've definitely got to feel good if you're the Browns, man, especially about that defense to get this one done kind of shorthanded as you were at the quarterback position.
Gotcha. I'm with you, Zach. On to the next one, man. We had Carolina. Carolina went to Miami to take on the Dolphins, man. The Dolphins end up coming with this W, 42-21. And this game actually gave me a little bit of hope for Bryce Young, man. It gave me a little bit of hope when to start this game off, man. The Carolina Panthers started this game off strong, and Bryce Young looked pretty good, as good as we've seen him look thus far in this season, man. Strong in the pocket, he was decisive with the ball. Put together a nice, very nice 2-minute drill before the half. Now, to put this team in field goal position, now they end up missing the field goal, but to put his team in position, man, put together a nice 2-minute drill. But then he just felt like a QB that couldn't get comfortable in the second half. It felt like a QB that couldn't get comfortable. Actually, felt like he couldn't get comfortable this entire season. That the offensive line hasn't been able to block anything for him. But even still, that first half looked a lot better. Adam Thielen, man. Adam Thielen is turning back the hands, you know what I'm saying, on that clock, man. Adam Thielen is putting together some numbers. He is balling. He's catching a lot of balls. He's open a lot during this particular during his time with Carolina, man. He's playing out of his mind. But it's the same story with Miami. Business as usual. They're too explosive, you know what I'm saying? And after a while, those speeds just start, spreading the field out, and everything just start opening up. Tyreek Hill had a pretty big day. Mostert had a pretty big day, and they just start, just spreading the ball around, and it was just too much for this Carolina team to handle, man, and they end up coming back and win this game 42-21. Now, here's my other thing, though. I am concerned about Miami's defense. All right, I'm concerned about them because their defense is struggling. They're giving up 26 points a game. 26 points a game, and it's one thing to blow out the teams that's bad. Okay, cool. Go put up 70 on the Broncos. But at the end of the day, still counts as one win. Go put up 42 points against Carolina. Cool. That still just counts as one win. But then you go to Buffalo. Buffalo put something on you, man, and you only scored 20 points or 20, something like that. Then you go see New England and Bill Belichick and that defense, they even slow you down. You come with that W still, but they slow you down. So when you get into playoff time, and that's where I'm gonna start talking playoffs a lot, man, because like I said, we're a third of the way through the season, and the further we go, the things are going to start shaping up a little bit more as to who's going to be the legit contenders and who's not. And these are the things that's going to separate you as a legit Super Bowl contender, or if you're going to be a team that can make the playoffs, but then end up getting knocked out because of this part of your particular team. And right now, it's the defense. It's the defense that's giving up a lot, and a team that plays them the correct way can slow them down. All that speed, it don't mean nothing if you condense it. You know what I'm saying? So Miami comes away with this W. They win this one easy. They still very explosive, still a very good team, but that's the one part that I would pick in terms of this team as the one thing that I'm going to be watching as the season goes along. I know they're probably ready to get Jalen Ramsey back too.
Well, no, and that's what I was just going to say, man. If you worried about defense, man, help is on the way. So Jalen Ramsey returned to practice this week. He's ahead of schedule from his was it a shoulder injury, or I can't remember what it was that he hurt now. Damn. Was it a shoulder or was it a knee?
Don't worry about it. I'll pull it up while you're looking. Go ahead.
Yeah, but either way, he's ahead of schedule, and better than that, like I said, he actually returned to practice. And so like I said, we can only assume that once he gets back, and especially, kind of gets his sea legs under him a little bit here, that we should see an improvement in that.
And it looked like it was a meniscus too, Willie Jack. It was a meniscus injury. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I couldn't remember if it was a shoulder or a knee. And so, but he's on the way back. But yeah, other than that, man, I think you summed up everything pretty good there. Two was pretty clean, 260 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, does have a fumble. Mostert back in that number one seat with the injury to A-Chain, the standout rookie. He goes 17 for 115 and 2 touchdowns. Also has a receiving touchdown in this game as well. Tyreek goes 6 for 163 and a touchdown. Waddle gets an end zone as well. And so just like my dog said, man, just too many weapons, too much speed on this offense. And like I said, and when they're rolling, they're an avalanche downhill. And so just like my dog Chop said, man, if you got to kind of stop them, you got to stop them early, because if they get going, like I said, man, it's an avalanche downhill, just like I said. And so, last thing I was going to say as well, I was going to say the same thing, man. Thielen is really I think it started with Andy Dalton. That first game Andy Dalton started, we saw the first 100-yard game for Thielen. And then Bryce Young gets back. And then it's like, oh, okay, that's how you do it. That's what we're supposed to be doing. I should have thrown the ball to Adam Thielen every time. And so Adam Thielen has had, I think, his third 100-yard game in a row now. Like I said, starting from when Andy Dalton first stepped in and got a start. And then Chuba Hubbard has 88 yards and a touchdown as well. And so, shout out to Troy Hill, has a pick six for this Carolina defense. Has that pick six. Now, that interception was thrown by backup quarterback Mike White and not Tua. But, so he did take one back to the crib, so I'll shout him out, man. But yeah, no exceptions here. I think in my prediction, I had this game a lot to a little. It would have been 42-14 if not for the pick six on Mike White. And so, that still holds true. You still get doubled up anyway. You get 20 balls. So, no surprises there.
Gotcha.
Oh, one more time. Hold on real quick before we move on, man. Tyreek Hill for the second year in a row. And our dog ZB posted, he says Tyreek's on pace for like 2,300 yards. And
he got 800 and something right now.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. But last year, early in the year as well, if we remember, he was on pace for like 2,100 yards, probably at this time or around this time last year as well. So, man, definitely consecutive blazing hot starts, man, for Tua and Tyreek getting this thing going. So hopefully, let's see how close to the mark he can hit this time around.
Yeah, Tua just got to stay on the field. If Tua stays on the field, man, he's definitely going to have a chance at that 2,000.
Good, yeah.
And that's what he said he's shooting for, so he's going to have a chance for sure. We got any more, Willie Jack?
No, last thing I will say, man, are you getting, and we haven't even talked about this, whatever, and we're 6 games in. So I think this being week 6, let's say we're a third of the way through the season. Is Tyreek on like your MVP watch list? Now, mind you, no receiver has ever won MVP. Not Jerry Rice when he scored 22 games in 12 games, or 22 touchdowns in only 12 games, or any other spectacular years he's had. So there's never been a receiver to win it. Not Steve Smith when he took a Carolina Panthers team to the Super Bowl after winning the Triple Crown. It's never been done. Do you think, could Tyreek be the first receiver to win an MVP?
There's
or
3 guys.
Or would it, like, yeah, what would you? Yeah.
There's 3 guys on my MVP list as of right now. Okay. Mm-hmm. And only one of them is a quarterback.
Oh, I love that. Come on with it.
Only one of them is a quarterback. So Tyreek Hill is one. I think without a doubt, Tyreek Hill is taking this offense to another place. You know what I'm saying? Doing things that, like you said, Willie Jack, and I got to give kudos to you, because at first I didn't know if Tyreek was a real deal, you know what I'm saying, number one, like a tier 1 receiver in this league. And he's shown that, and he's shown that he can do so many different things to offense just with his speed alone. He's a one-on-one, like you said. Mm-hmm. So, yes, with what he's been able to do for this offense and open up so many other things for the rest of his team, I think without Tyreek Hill on his team, Mostert doesn't have the running room. A-Chan doesn't have those big days that he's had. I think Waddle still could have some of his same success because of the way that they utilize him. But there's no way you can put 8 in a box on this particular team. There's no way. And the big reason is because Tyreek Hill. So, yes, he's one of those guys. Christian McCaffrey is definitely one of those guys on that list. Just the way that they utilize him, the yards, the touchdowns, the passing, the running, like they're using him in so many different ways. And he is showing to be a prime example of why, like, some running backs, depending on who you are, man, they deserve to get paid. Man, get these guys their bread, because they can be just as valuable depending on the way that you utilize them, depending on the system, and with all those different things. So Christian McCaffrey is definitely one of those guys I think deserves to be in that conversation. And then I got to give it to Pat Mahomes, man. I got to give it to Pat Mahomes. Yeah, Pat Mahomes is.
I don't think Pat's been that clean this first third of the season, man. I ain't gonna lie.
The thing for me, though, is for me, the reason I say Pat Mahomes is because out of any quarterback that you can name, or put on this list as of right now, quarterback Pat Mahomes has the least to work with. I think he's the one making everybody else around him better. I think he's doing it. Now, don't get me wrong, he still got his guy in Travis Kelce. But Travis Kelce,
he's got a top 5 offensive line, probably still, even with the kind of
well, I mean, in order to be a really truly successful quarterback, a lot of them have to at least have a
no. Well, I'm just saying, I don't want us to say like he's lining up with like the damn, you know what I'm saying? Like having Travis Kelce on your team is no. I don't like I said, now he doesn't have a big name at receiver, but I guess I get what you were saying. I guess I had to think about
yeah. So I mean, it's not what I'm saying. It's not Tyreek Hill. It's not Jalen Waddle, and you know what I'm saying, that plethora of weapons. It's not AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. It's not like it's he has this one guy, and I think what he's doing and how he orchestrates this offense, I think he's the one that makes everybody better around him. Versus, I would say Tyreek Hill was the one that makes that offense so much better.
No, for sure,
when he's on the field. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I would say Pat Mahomes as of right now.
Okay.
There's a couple other guys you probably can.
No, well, let me give you my
those would be my 3 guys that I would mention just off the top of my head. Not thinking about it, those are 3 that came to mind for me.
No, and honestly, those are well, those first 2 were mine as well. So except I switched Tyreek and CMC. So I've got Chris McCaffrey number 1 for me, and then I have Tyreek 2. But my number 3 though, I've got a quarterback as well. But man, I'm telling you, bro, I've got Jared Goff, man. Jared Goff. I don't care enough, bro. I'm trying. Jared Goff is. I think better than good. I think Jared Goff is the best. He's playing the best ball as a quarterback in his league right now. I can't. I'm telling you, bro. It's not the sexiest game. It's not as run around electric dynamic as Patty. You know what I mean? It's not as big arm blow you out the water as some of those guys. You know what I mean? But he's playing some of the best ball at the position. Consistently playing some of the cleanest ball at the position. In that offense, there's not a lot of just tier 1. He doesn't have a Travis Kelce. Now he's got an Amon-Ra St. Brown, but how many of us consider Amon-Ra St. Brown in the top tier? You know what I mean? We none of us do. He's got a rookie Sam Laporta. You know what I mean? Like nobody's considering him in the same breath as a Travis Kelce or a Mark. You know what I mean? And so now he does have a very good offensive line. He doesn't have a dominant run game. I mean, so Jared Goff, man, is playing phenomenal ball. They're 5-1. They're tied for the league as far as the record goes, man. It's time, man. We got to start giving Jared Goff needs some respect, damn it. And I'm here. I want to be the one to give it to him, man. Jared Goff is number 3 on my MVP watch list at this point, man. We're a quarter of the way through the season.
Go ahead, talk about it, Willie Jack. Go ahead, let them know what's happening, man. Go ahead, let them start your campaign. Start your campaign, dog.
I ain't feeling it, man. Brett he said, "Ain't no way, ain't no way." And well, here's the thing, man. And it's not a knock. It's not a knock on Pat at all. But I mean, he should have threw 2 more interceptions in that Jets game. He got picked off 1. He threw 2 more in that game that didn't hit the stat sheet. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not the cleanest of ball. And even in that Lions game as well. Now, there's a lot of things in that Lions game that went on for both sides, whatever the case. And they lose a very close game, even as relatively poorly as that offense played or as poorly as that offense kind of looked. But throws an interception in that one to the rookie Brian Branch. He should have threw another one in that one as well. And so it just hasn't been clean ball. But when he's on, there's no one better. I'm not trying to argue that. This isn't a grand scheme. It's nobody's knocking Mahomes off his pedestal as the best at this point, just in the league.
Other guys won MVP while LeBron James was in the league. That still didn't change that LeBron James wasn't the best in the league. LeBron was the best, but other guys still won MVPs.
No, exactly right. Charles Barkley won an MVP in the middle of Jordan's 3-peats.
And we know we know just in case there's. And we know, just in case there's fans out there, it ain't been a guy that stepped on the court ever has been a guy better than Michael Jordan. But I'm just gonna put that out there. Go ahead.
And no, and I feel you, bro. But that's what I'm saying. Like, and this is he's been good, but MVP no way. And see, that's the thing, bro. It's like the only problem with saying Jared Goff's MVP is because it's just such a non-sexy name. He's just a Joe. Like most of us just see Jared Goff. We know about his kind of fall from grace from his time with the Rams and Sean McVay and how that didn't quite pan out. They went to the Super Bowl. He didn't get it done. He had a chance to win the Super Bowl. He finds was that Brandon Cooks in the right end of the end zone, should have been touchdown. He sees him a second too late. Devin McCourty hauls ass and gets over there and gets a deflection by fingertips at the last second, and that's a touchdown. They win that game. And then where's his trajectory then? So he's had success, but I look at this Detroit Lions team. They're 5-1. They beat Kansas City in Kansas City. Whatever. We can talk about how it happened, whatever. They won that game. You know what I'm saying? They won that game. They lose a tough game that went to overtime to Seattle. Other than that, they're undefeated. And so I'm looking because I hear you say like, well, Patty doesn't have that much on offense. Man, I'll take Kelsey to Amon-Ra St. Brown 2-1 every time I get a chance to. You know what I'm saying? And I think the Chiefs defense is probably, I don't know if Cleveland's number one, San Francisco's number two, Kansas City's got an argument to be the third best defense in this league. You know what I'm saying? Like they're in that conversation. The conversation for Kansas City as that defense starts at 3, 4, 5. They somewhere in there. You know what I mean? They playing damn good. And so he still got that working for him. Pacheco's a very aggressive runner. Now I'm not saying he's a tier 1 stud, but there's no weapons that Jared Goff has on this team that blows me away. And man, and like I said, Jared Goff been scoring. Jared Goff been going for 30 games now. You know what I'm saying? Like when are we gonna say like he's got something cooking over there, man? He does. He's got something going there. And like I said, man, I think he needs more credit than probably he's getting. Dan Campbell's getting phenomenal credit as being a motivator and a guy we all like and want to have a beer with. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of credit being thrown around over there, and not enough of it's attached to Jared Goff, man. And he needs some, man. Third in my MVP ranking right now, man. Jared Goff, man. Jared Goff.
Hey, yeah. I'm not mad at you, Willie. He definitely deserves more credit. I will still say I'll take Detroit. Everything around Detroit's offense before I take the Chiefs, man. That's just my opinion. But let's keep on pushing, man. I like that discussion. I like that question. I appreciate
man. Like I said, and brother-in-law, real quick, man, brother, I don't want to ignore you. He said I'm taking Pat for granted because he's been doing it, bro. No, it hasn't been clean football, bro. It just hasn't been clean football. It's been more turnover-prone football this year, definitely than it's reminding me a little bit about when I was calling him Patty Winston and James Mahomes a couple years ago, where he was a little loose. At least to start that season, it's been a little looser now. Mind you, I mean, he is doing a little heavier lifting than maybe we want to because the talent on the outside isn't as spectacular as it had been. But it is what it is, man. I can only grade you by what you're putting up on the ground, on the board. You know what I'm saying? Like instead of LeBron giving me 28, LeBron's giving me 22 right now. It's still a great 22 because it's still LeBron. He's still balling, but he's giving me 22, and for 20 years he gave me 28. So it's cool to say he ain't playing his best ball right now. He's still great and dominant. They can still win with him. It's LeBron. He ain't playing his best ball. That's all I'm saying, brother-in-law. That's all I'm saying.
Gotcha, Willie Jack. We're going to do one more game, then we'll go to a quick break, Willie Jack. But let's move on to this Jacksonville game. And we had Indianapolis go to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. The Jaguars come away with this W 37-20, Willie Jack. I'm going to start this one off, man. And for me, I feel like watching this game, Jacksonville controlled both sides of the ball. You know, especially in that first half, they control both sides of the ball. This is the best that I've seen the Jaguars offense look all season. And this is kind of what I was expecting from them from the jump when they stepped into the season is what they look like. And it just came from everyone. It wasn't one specific person. The ball was kind of spread around. The defense played really, really well as well. And they just looked really good, man. And for the Colts, they just couldn't get much going, man. Minshew had probably one of the worst games I've ever seen him play. He had a terrible game. He threw the ball 55 times, 3 interceptions. And honestly, he could have threw 5 interceptions this game because they dropped a couple of those interceptions that he threw, put right in the defense's hands. So Minshew just played an awful, awful game, man. And that offense, too, even though he threw for over 300 yards, the offense just looks stagnant to me in terms of what the Indianapolis Colts is able to do. I don't think they have a field stretcher. They don't have a guy that can really get upfield, which clogs up a lot of running lanes. That also clogs up a lot of passing lanes, you know, for them intermediate passes that you need to hit. You know, I think for the Colts moving forward, they're going to need some guys that can really stretch the field, you know, since they can open up more things for this offense. And until they're able to do that, that's going to make things just much harder on them as an entire offense. It's gonna make things harder on Anthony Richardson, you know, so trying to utilize his legs, you know, that offensive line, having to deal with more bodies in the box, you know, it's just gonna make things harder just for that offense as a whole if they aren't able to, you know, find some guys that can really spread defenses out, you know what I'm saying, when they're on offense. So that's what I kind of seen a lot from this team, and Minshew trying to operate in really, really tight spaces, man. It just didn't look good, and he had his terrible game. One thing they're gonna need to get going though. This is my last one, and I'll pass it over to you, Willie Jack. They're gonna need to get Jonathan Taylor going pretty fast. All right, they're gonna need to get him going. I know he's only a couple games in. He's still trying to get his football legs back, but with Anthony Richardson now out for the season, he's gonna be the guy they're gonna have to start back leaning on if they want to continue to compete to try to get into the playoffs at some point. So that's what we're gonna have to do. But yeah, Jacksonville, they look very good. They started to look a little sloppy in the second half. That's part of the reason why Trevor Lawrence came away nicked up and came away with an injury in this game. But overall, I think this was a much better performance from this offense than we've seen in the past.
No, and I think you summed this game up pretty well, man. Like I said, just Jacksonville. The coach just came out and, like I said, man, Minshew just played a terrible game, man. And in the Sunday show, man, I wanted Minshew to have a good day because it was a revenge game for him. He broke into the league with Jacksonville, had a day in the sun or so before it all came crashing back down, and then they get him out of there and go get Trevor Lawrence. And so he goes back, they have a chance to get a little pseudo revenge and doesn't put his best foot forward, man. Like I said, has 4 turnovers on the day, the 3 interceptions, he lost a fumble. My dog Chop just said, man, he could have threw another interception at least in this game as well. And then Zach Moss, man, in addition to Jonathan Taylor has 8 carries for 19 yards, but Zach Moss only has 7 for 21. And so now Zach Moss is coming off of probably the 2 best games or the best 2-game stretch in his career, I would imagine, because he's been a guy that's predominantly been a backup for most of his time. And so a week after having maybe a career day, he had 165 yards, 7 for 21. Jonathan Taylor, like I said, 8 for 19. They couldn't get anything going on the ground. And just like my dog said, man, they've got Michael Pittman, who's a solid receiver, but he's a big body possession guy and not at all anybody that can stretch and keep these defenses from just loading up on you and cramming everything in the middle. Like I said, without having some type of speed to keep the defenses honest or keep from just clogging the box like they do. So, but no, man, like I said, man, well said. Jacksonville has themselves gets a much needed win in the division. Travis Etienne has been having pretty hot. Now he doesn't go crazy as far as yardage in this one, only 55 yards, but does get in the paint twice. So 2 more touchdowns today, and I feel like the 2 games before this one, I think he had topped 100 yards and also 2 or 3 touchdowns over that span as well. So he's been on a pretty decent run himself. And so, yeah, no, like I said, much needed division win for the Jacksonville Jaguars, man. They had already dropped the division game to the Texans, so you don't want to drop too many of those, especially with the Texans kind of nipping at your heels the way they are.
Absolutely. They're definitely with you on that one, Jack. All right, man. I'm about to turn it over, man. We got to take a little bit of a break real quick, man. But that means my dog Willie Jack finna let y'all know some important stuff, man. Y'all need to pay attention to what my dog Willie Jack finna tell y'all. We'll be right back. We still got to go through the rest of the games. And we also got a Thursday night preview for y'all, man. We got a game coming on tomorrow, as always. So we're going to run through that for y'all. But we'll be right back. Y'all stay tuned.
Come on with it.
Today's episode of Let the Film Speak, hosted by the wonderfully handsome and intelligent brothers of Let the Film Speak. That's Chop and your main man, Willie Jack. Yeah, feel me. Also brought to you by the 3 amigos. Y'all know them and you love them, man. That's the 3 amigos. That's like, that's share, that's subscribe. That's 3 the hard way. That's a 3-piece spicy. You cannot go wrong. Now, I say the same thing every week, so y'all can say it at home with me. I know y'all ready for it. Here we go. It's 3 amigos, but it's 4 parts to this process, big dog. First, you just got to tap in. Like my dog said, man, come in, tap in. Just say what's up, man. Just holler. Hey, what's up, 3 amigos, man? Like, share, subscribe. Hey, Chop, man. Willie, man, what's going on, man? It's cool. I sit on the couch for sure. Y'all got some cold to drink? Oh, man, my man. Yeah. Oh, yeah. By the way, man, I'm a Broncos fan. That's all you got to do. That's it. That's easy. And Chop, come in, sit down, get comfortable, get a cool adult beverage, and let us know who you ride with, big dog. Then tell a friend. Like, man, that's a nice feeling here, ain't it? Man, it's cool, man. My homeboy was out here down. Man, it's cool. I can tell a friend. Tell a friend, man. And you know what? Even better than that, you can tell your friend to tell a friend. Guess what? There's more. You can tell your friend's friend to bring his partner too. Bring one more because we need 4, man. Bring them up into the penthouse. Tap in with your dogs, man. Wednesdays at 7 o'clock. You know we don't wear no watches. We ain't got nowhere else to be but in here kicking football flavor with the fam. And now back to the regularly scheduled program.
All right, man. I hope y'all listen to my dog, Willie Jack, man. He had some good news for y'all, man. Some important stuff, man. So I hope y'all paying attention to what my dog letting y'all know what's going on, man. But right on the other side of this break, man, right on the side of our halftime, we're going to run over to Houston, man. We're going to talk about this Houston game. This New Orleans, they go to Houston to take on the Texans. And Houston, Texans win this game 20-13. 20-13. What's your take on this one, man?
Man, well, the first thing, man, I felt as soon as it happened, I think I posted in the group, I felt bad, man. I hope I ain't jinxed CJ Stroud's streak, man. The streak is over. So he throws his first interception in this game, man. I think he ends that mark at 186 attempts to start your career without throwing an interception. Does throw an interception in this game. But other than that, man, I'm just very impressed with this young Texas team. So you've got CJ Stroud, just their young core. They show up and they're playing well, and every week they're getting better together. I'm talking about CJ Stroud, Nico Collins, Tank Dell. And then also, man, a good addition to this team that maybe we haven't highlighted or gave his praises, but Dalton Schultz, man, the tight end from Dallas, he was came over from Dallas, had good touchdown production, but not really, kind of underrated our guy. Dallas really wanted to retain him. He leaves and gets a little more money from Texans, and he's been a pretty reliable kind of safety blanket for young CJ Stroud as well. He gets in the paint in this game as well. 4 catches for 61 yards and a touchdown. Nico Collins goes 4 for 80, and then CJ Stroud, not his best day, but like I said, enough to definitely get it done against a very capable Saints defense. And so that was one of the things I wanted to see as well, how he performs against a very quality Saints defense. And like I said, not his best day, but 13 for 26, 199 yards, 2 touchdowns. And like I said, does throw that interception to, I want to say, Zach Bond on the other side. And then if you're the Saints, 32 for 50 for Derek Carr for 353 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Alvin Kamara goes 19 for 68. Has another 36 yards receiving. Olave goes 7 for 96. And then Chop's dog, man, Rasheen Shaheen has a couple big catches in this one. Goes 2 catches, only 2 catches on the day, but 85 yards, and one of those a 50-yard touchdown or something like that.
Man, well. Unleash the kid, man. Unleash the kid.
They've definitely got to find a way to capitalize like on his deep speed more than they definitely have. I'm happy to see that they got out Olave consistent touches, because it's just been an issue with that Saints offense just to this point of the year, just period. And then, like I said, just not getting those playmakers the ball. And so good to see that these guys at least hit the stat sheet. But nah, man, they go to Houston and fall short, man, 13-20. So that Texas team, man, they're definitely sniffing around these Jaguars. That's what I'm saying. If the Jaguars aren't too careful, man, they're gonna fool around with these Texans, hang around just long enough to where maybe that head-to-head matchup comes to effect, and maybe the Texans, like I said, man, they continue on, get themselves a chance to steal this division.
Gotcha. Now, mind you, let me let everybody know something. In terrible time, I hope you in the building, man.
Terrible time, where you at, man?
Terrible time, you need to be in the building. I was forced to watch this game.
Every snap.
Out of all the games on TV at 12 o'clock, y'all know how many games come on at 12. We talked about it before. But it'd be like 6, 7, 8 games on at 12 o'clock. Out of all the games I could have been watching, I was forced to watch this game, and only this game. I'm talking about through the commercial breaks and everything. Tom got red zone. He got all the other games. I was forced to watch Houston on TV. So I seen every snap of this particular game right here, man. Every single snap, man. And might I say, I will say this, man. Tom spent his entire time trying to convince me about certain Texans players. Man, he talked to me about a linebacker, Marcus Stroud. He told me he was a top 8 QB. That's what he told me. You know what I'm saying? He told me a lot of things.
CJ Stroud,
Yeah, CJ Stroud. Yeah, he told me it. I will say this, man. Stroud did impress. He did impress. And the things that he showed are not things. They're things you definitely want to see in your rookie QB. And these are things that show that he has a bright future if he can continue to grow and continue just to learn how to be a pro. He has great touch, great accuracy, quick reads, good adjustments off the blitz. Like, it was a play where I seen a quick blitz. He made a quick read and hit a corner route, about a 20, 25-yard corner route of the right sideline on the money with pressure in his face. That's big-time QB play. And then he had a touchdown pass where he went from left to right, came back to the middle. He caught his guy at the last minute. He hit him quick over the middle, going through his reads. Just comfortable. He looks very, very comfortable in the pocket and orchestrating this team. And, hey, man, if you D'Amico Ryans, man, you looking pretty good so far, man. It's looking like you got some things to work with when it comes to CJ Stroud and what he's fully capable of. So I go there. Now let's talk about. Before I jump off the Texans, Nico Collins is for real, and it's looking like Nico Collins just needed a guy that can get him to rock consistently. Nico Collins is for real. 4 for 80 yards this game, but he's looking like a true difference maker, man. He's 8th in receiving yards, 6'4", 215. Let's not just forget about his size. The guy's a big guy. And he just, like I said, he just looks like a guy that just needed somebody that can get him the rock consistently. Yeah, he looks like he's for real. Now, let's move over to New Orleans, man. New Orleans offense is struggling, man. And as easy as we talked about their schedule would be going into this season, they haven't made it look easy. These are games I feel like they should have been winning, but they are losing. Like, don't get me wrong, Houston is not a terrible team from what we've seen.
No, they're overachieving for where we assumed they were going to be to start the season for sure. So they are
overachieving, but I still feel like the Saints will be better than what Houston is now going into the season. I feel like they will be better than that, and I feel like they will be able to take care of business against this Houston team. But like I said, they're not making their schedule look easy. They haven't played much so far. They're 3-3 right now, and their 3 losses came from a Packers team that's not very good.
Mind you, that Packers game, they was up. It was 18-0 in the fourth quarter when they lost that game or whatever it was. Yeah. So,
They lost to a Packers team. They lost to the Bucs, who aren't special. And then, like I said, they just lost to this Houston team. So 3 of these losses came from teams that I don't think are just some of the top of line teams. None of these are top tier teams. I just put it like that. None of these are top tier teams they lost to. So this New Orleans team, when they start playing some tougher teams, it's gonna get ugly. I mean, and then next week it's not like another team that's not a top tier team, but I think could very well be another L for them in Jacksonville this Thursday night, and we'll get into that too when we get to the end of this. We'll talk about this Thursday night recap, but this New Orleans team is struggling a lot. Derek Carr is not really cutting it, man. He's not looking as good, and I don't know what this team needs to do, because it's another game, and I talked about it before, where they didn't score over 20 points and only scored 13 this game. You know what I'm saying? So there's definitely a lot this team needs to clean up. I don't think they cleaned it up by this Thursday night. You know what I'm saying? That's a quick turnaround for them to get some things cleaned up, but there's a lot for this team to clean up and do, especially with the talent that they have. So Houston comes away with the W, man. They come take care of business. They came ready to play, and it looks like they're going to be well coached. So if you got Houston on your schedule, it ain't going to be a walk in the park.
No, and just like you said, man, shout out to D'Amico Ryans, man. Yeah, shout out to D'Amico Ryans, man, for, like I said, rookie coach going back home. The team he broke into the league playing for was a defensive leader and stalwart there for some years before he ends up moving on. But now gets to kind of go back to his professional career home, and then to have the success that he's having this early in his career, man. So kudos to you, D'Amico Ryans.
Absolutely. On to this next one, Willie Jack. Let's go to Las Vegas, where New England goes to Las Vegas to take on the Raiders. Raiders win this game 21-17, man. And I'm gonna try to keep this one quick, Willie Jack. But I thought this was a game I thought Big Bill could pull it off, man. What you call him, Big Bad Boogeyman Bill?
Big Bad Boogeyman Bill.
Big Bad Boogeyman Bill. I thought Bill would be able to pull this one off, man. But I came to the realization that the Patriots are just bad. They're a bad football team. And it's crazy to even say this after so many years. I think you can finally let those words out of your mouth and say, man, the Patriots are just a bad football team. And it's only a matter of time that the lack of talent can catch up with you.
Exactly.
It's only a matter of time. You can be as good as a coach in the world, but if you don't have the guys that can get out there and get it done, it doesn't matter. And it's starting to show. I don't care who you are. They've been bit by the injury bug on top of that. Mac Jones doesn't look like a competent QB. It doesn't look like he's going to cut it, and they may be moving on from him pretty soon in terms of as the starter on this team. And that's just what it is, man. And they just look bad. On the other hand, the Las Vegas Raiders, I think they got a pretty sneaky good defense, a defense that gets after the quarterback. Crosby has been playing some really good ball. That safeties Diablo and Trayvon Moehrig, man, are starting to step up and play some pretty good ball. And I talked to y'all about Amik Robinson last year, man.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, I would say Amik Robinson. He's nice, man. The little corner they got, man.
Man. I talked to him last year. It was I forgot what game we was talking about, Willie Jack, and I showed you after we had got off the air where somebody had caught a ball over him. and it didn't matter. He didn't back down not once. He didn't get intimidated. He was right back in the corner face, and I think he ended up winning the game when he had a pick, and then he had like a fumble recovery return for a touchdown in that particular game last year.
Yeah,
I can look at it, but Meek Robinson he's one of those dogs. I mean, he's one of those guys we can.
No, he is, man. He's one of those guys, man. I don't know. I think he's like 5'8". I don't know if he's 170 pounds. Yep. I mean, but I don't. He's a smaller guy, but he's one of those guys, man. He is he will chew through your face, man. Boy, you play with that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he's definitely got some dog in him. I like his game too.
Absolutely, man. And the Raiders just came and took care of business. Jacoby Myers continues to look like a good number 2 receiver. Josh Jacobs didn't have a strong game, but starting to get things going in terms of just his legs under him after missing training camp and everything. So he's starting to look a little bit better as the season goes along. But Raiders came and take care of business, man. I don't think they're gonna be anything special, but they win this game. So one win. That's one win. One more win that they needed for sure.
Nah, and then honestly, man, this like you just said, man, it's just a damn shame, man, just seeing how Bills Patriots have just fallen so far, man. But like I said, it's one of those things where it's just they just don't have the talent. Just like my dog said, man, it's only so long fake thugs can pretend. You just ain't got nobody out there, man. Bill just ain't got nobody out there. Mac Jones, he goes 24 for 33, 300 yards, 200 yards flat. The interception he threw was a god-awful, just terrible pass. Hunter Henry's wide open, butt naked. Mac Jones is scrambling towards the right sideline, and maybe he needs to stop and reset. He tries to kind of throw a pass on the run, fading right, and just misses wide open Hunter Henry by like 4 or 5 yards on that interception. Just a god-awful pass. I mean, it's just nothing you can do with that. Then Stevenson, Ramondre Stevenson goes 10 for 46 in a touchdown. Zeke goes 7 for 34, gets in the paint. Kendrick Bourne goes 10 for 89 yards. Now, here's the thing for me on the other side of this game for the Raiders. Devontae hasn't been a big part of this offense these last few weeks now, and it doesn't change in this game. He only has 5 targets, has 2 catches for 29 yards. And then, like you said, I think you already gave the stats on Jay because he didn't have a big day. Jimmy G in this one, 14 for 22, 162, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Now, let's also not forget, he actually left the game or gets injured and comes out of this game. I think they were calling it a back injury or a rib injury.
Yeah, or and he missed practice today too because of the back injury. So
yep, exactly. And so Brian Hoyer makes a showing, goes 6 for 10 for 102 yards in this one as well. But yeah, no. What I'm concerned about is if I'm the Raiders is now just like I'm glad you shouted him out because Jacoby Myers is playing some ball now. He's definitely playing very good ball there. But I want to know what's going on with the Devontae connection. Like I said, man. So I don't know where they started. It started out so hot, you know what I mean? Like so hot or so on fire, and it's really been pretty slow going for at least these last 2 games. I know off the top of my mind, but yeah, 2 for 29, man. I don't see how we let that happen. 5 targets. We're talking about Devontae Adams. You know what I'm saying? Like it just doesn't. I don't like how that stat line reads. But yeah, no, man. Max Crosby gets the sack or the safety to kind of, the sack at the end of the game to kind of close this one out. Now, one thing I'll say, man, is I don't want to necessarily go too hard on or go too far with the Raiders defense because, mind you, they were playing probably the worst offense between the Patriots, the Giants, and the Saints. Man, one of the worst offenses in the league as well. But they did have a big day, man, and got it done for sure. Held them to 17 points.
No, absolutely. But I'm just in terms of like some of the other teams they played too. I don't think they played pretty terrible. And in terms of the Devontae Adams thing, I'm not too worried about it. I think Devontae Adams is still going to be their number 1 guy. I mean, it's Bill Belichick still knows how to put his bread towards the number 1 guy. You know what I'm saying? The number 1 guy, he still won't let the number 1 guy beat him. And then the week before that, he had Jair Alexander on the other side of him. You know what I'm saying? So that's some tough matchups, man. It's just tough. You know what I'm saying? But he had 172 the week before that. So I think he's still gonna be the guy that they're gonna really target. But they just have another guy alongside of him though. That okay, cool. You're gonna take him out the way. I got a guy that can get it done, and here you go, Jacoby Myers. So I think it's good. It works out good for this team. So we'll see. We'll continue to see how that goes and how that progresses as the season goes.
For sure.
On to the next game, man. We're gonna go to my guys, man. We had Arizona go to LA to take on the Rams, man. And I'll say this: I thought this game was gonna be a breeze for us. I thought we would win comfortably. But the Cardinals were winning this game at half. They were winning this game 9-6. We closed out the half with a field goal, give us a little bit of momentum going into halftime. And the Cardinals play a physical style of football. You know, they control the clock. You know what I'm saying? They got out to Stafford, and you know they gave us a few problems early on. But in the second half was what I thought the game could be, what I thought we could continue to do, you know, as the game goes on. We got more to our balance. You know, so we got back to our balance. We got back to running the ball, ran the ball pretty well at that. I know you're going to throw some stats for Williams, but I'll just name his. Williams ran for 158 yards and a touchdown. And when we're running the ball well, of course, it just opens up so much more for the offense. You know what I'm saying? Opens up the play action, gives Stafford much time. And when Stafford's had time, man, Stafford is actually another one of those quarterbacks that has been playing some really, really good ball. We know his arm talent is really good. And, you know, when we able to do that, when we're able to have balance on offense, man, it just makes us so much better. Of course, we got our guy Cooper Kupp back, man, and so they're able to spread the ball around. So our offense just looks a lot better, man, when we're able to have balance. Shout out to Raheem Morris doing a really good job with this young defense. Nobody knew what this defense was going to look like, but this defense is playing some solid ball. Not one of the best, but a lot better than what I thought they were going to play. I thought we were going to be a team where Chicago. Oh, we got Denver on the schedule this week. Oh, we got Chicago on the schedule this week. We got Minnesota. I thought we were going to be a defense similar to that, but I mean, we've been a defense that's been respectable, I would say, towards the middle of the pack. And I can't ask for much more just based off the expectations of my team going to this season. Aaron Donald is he's still back in rare form, looking like, you know, the defensive tackle that we've seen over the years. Living in teams backfield, no sacks this game, but 3 tackles for loss. Man, he just was wrecking this game. So, man, shout out to the Rams, man. We came with the W, and hey, man, let's keep on rolling, dog. Let's keep on rolling. we got. You know what? We'll get to that. Don't even worry about who we got on the schedule this week.
Yeah.
I might bust out the jersey for this one, Willie Jack. I might bust out the jersey, bro.
Hey, I'm sure we'll get to it. But yeah, I'll be short and sweet on this one, man. Like I said, I'm not surprised that all you guys won, and like you said, won by. Or you know, in one in the manner that you did. I was surprised, like I said, to talk about the tale of two halves, the way this game started. Like I said, Arizona comes out, they're up 9-3 for the bulk of that half before you guys get the field goal before halftime to close at 9-6. Then of course, you guys come back out and stonewall them in the second half. Like I said, Kyron Williams, man, huge day, 20 for 158 in that touchdown, but he's out. He suffered an injury, and now they're saying that he's not expected to start or play in this game coming up Sunday. You know what I'm saying, when y'all play my boys or whatnot. But I mean, now you could fill me up on that if that's gonna be that's at least I saw that story somewhere.
He's gonna be out a few weeks. He's not playing. Okay. He's gonna be out a few weeks.
Okay, let's make sure. Okay, yeah. So he does have a big day and then he goes down. Cooper Kupp, man, has a massive day, 7 for 148, 1 touchdown in this one. But then on the other side, man, is this kind of the trend we're saying? Your boy Pookie, man, Pikachu, 4 for 26. Like I said, man, it's been a drastic drop in production. Last week, it was, 4 for 71. He got in the end zone. Or he had 70 yards, got a touchdown in the second half. And then this game, man, down to 26 yards for a guy who I feel like he averaged like 130 yards a game before the return of Cooper Kupp. So, like I said, I'm just keeping my eye on kind of how that production goes, because this is what I want to see, man. Can Stafford maintain a good balance between those two guys that can both, like you said, give them great production. So, but no, other than that, man, like you said, man, Aaron Donald was causing havoc in that backfield. Doesn't get a sack, but definitely made his presence felt. And you guys cruise and get a W.
Absolutely. All right, Willie Jack. Let's get to some of these tough games, man.
Hold on, man. My bad, ZB. I just looked up and seen I put your comment on there really quick.
Oh yeah.
Kyler Murray did return to practice as well, and so he's got, I think, 21 days or whatever is the rule for he come back from PUP. Him and Jalen Ramsey both activated off the PUP list, so he could be returning. I know there was a lot of talk about the Cardinals being just ready to just be done or over with Kyler, but they're bringing him back from the PUP. He's returning to practice, and so we'll see if or when he actually does play. And then as well, man, one of the defensive leaders on that team, and Budda Baker, also could be on his way back as well. So with these Cardinals, man, they haven't won a lot of games, but they've been competitive in most of their games. And so maybe they decide to go ahead and see with this thing how we're sitting right when at the point of when Kyler could officially really come back and hit the field, man. Depending on how they're sitting, like I said, maybe they position themselves to try to make a wild card run or something if they're finding a way to kind of stay afloat around 500.
We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. Yeah, we'll just see. We'll just see.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. On to the next one, Willie Jack. Like I said, man, let's get to some of these physical games, man. Another upset, man. An upset. We had the Philadelphia Eagles go to New York to take on the Jets, man. The Jets win this game 20-14. Willie, talk to me, man. What happened, bro? What happened?
This was a very surprising game for me because, and I think two things happened here. For one, Philadelphia, I believe they had been the number one rushing team in the league to this point. They had 14 rushing attempts between all the running backs in this game, just 14. And so, but if I get into the mind of maybe the offensive coach or the scheming, if you tell me we're going to play the Jets, a team that hasn't given much pushback offensively, and like I said, man, if we can get a lead on this team, we can get a lead early on this team. We can probably put them to bed early because Zach Wilson in that offense hasn't shown the ability to score points and keep up. But then you also tell me that they're down their two starting corners. One of these guys, a top 2 or 3 guy at the position, depending on how you feel. Sauce Gardner's out. And then the very underrated DJ Reed, his running mate, the other starter, he's also out. And you tell me that I've got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert. So I can see they came out intended to have the passing game kind of lead this offense. And honestly, it just was a rough day at the office for Hurts in that offense, man. So they did a good job keeping pressure on them. And then they kind of, I don't want to say just gave up on the run. I mean, they just didn't really make an effort to run the ball. And so it became kind of a one-sided game, and they couldn't capitalize on the injuries in the Jets secondary. So Jalen Hurts goes 28 for 45, 280 yards, throws a touchdown, throws 3 interceptions in this game. And then he also adds 47 yards on the ground and gets a touchdown. Even that touchdown that he got, it had to be reviewed, but I just didn't like the offensive game plan. Like, it's third and goal from the 12, and they call a QB draw. Now he runs like 8 yards, so now it's like 4th and 4, and they go for it. Okay, cool. They call another QB draw, and honestly, he gets laying on top of somebody's body and stretches the ball over, and they review it, and they end up getting a touchdown. That was the first touchdown they scored. But just the way they came out, just the game plan they had for this game, I just think I almost feel like they got to look cute. Let's not forget who we are and what we do here. We're a dominant run team. We're that first. And then everything we do should still come from that. And I think they came out kind of feeling themselves a little bit. And they came out and kind of, I think the way they played, or the game plan they had, the way they played, kind of played into it, helped the Jets kind of stay in this game. And that defense capitalized and made plays when they had to. Quentin Williams got an interception in this game. 320-pound defensive tackle. He gets an interception off of a tip pass in this one. 2 other interceptions in this game. But no, man, they do just enough. If you're the Jets, Zach Wilson isn't spectacular at all, but this is exactly what you need him to do. Don't be the guy that loses us the game. No touchdowns, but no interceptions. Exactly. No interceptions, no fumbles. Just don't be the guy that loses this game for us. That's what they need for him. He goes 19 for 33 for 186 yards. Breece Hall gets kept in check this game. Only 39 yards rushing, does have a touchdown. He has another 54 yards in the air. Garrett Wilson made some for 90 yards.
Uh-oh, Willie. I lost you, dog. You disappeared on me. That boy magic. My partner knows magic, man. That's why you go get you a dog like Willie Jack. The boy just disappeared from the screen, off the rip. Boy, I'm telling you, y'all go get y'all a Willie Jack. Y'all ain't gonna be able to find no Willie Jack, man. Y'all ain't gonna be able to find him. But to a lot of what he was saying, man, I agree with a lot of the things that he was saying. You stick to what you do, Philly. Stick to what you do. But this is also one of the things that I mentioned, and this is also one of the things that I mentioned from the very beginning, is that whenever a team takes away what Philadelphia does, which is their run game, whenever the team takes away a lot of what they do, one of the things is it turns Jalen Hurts into no longer a top 10 quarterback, but maybe like a top 15 quarterback. Okay, let's say going into the season, people thought Jalen Hurts was a top 5 quarterback. Well, now he's just maybe the top 15 because they took away a lot of the things that he does well. Willie Jack, you're back. You're back, man.
Man, yeah, that's why I don't know what happened. I couldn't see myself, couldn't hear you. Okay.
I thought you did some. I thought you did some magic for a minute. I was like, "Hey, man, so get y'all a partner like Willie Jack." My boy disappeared from the screen. That boy just made his body disappear. He just went away. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what happened.
But yeah, man. But that's what happens when you take away this Philly team. And I think when you're able to do that, you're able to neutralize what this Philadelphia offense is able to do. You know, and what makes them most successful. Jalen Hurts is not a drop back quarterback, you know, from the pocket, read defense, pick you apart all game long. He'll have a game or two like that, but that's not who he is truly as an NFL quarterback. He likes to get out the pocket. He likes to use his legs. He likes to do that. He likes to use that, utilize the read option. There's a lot of different things that comes with his game. But when you make him do just that, then you take away some of the best parts of his game, and you help yourself and your defense. And like you said, Willie Jack, this the New York Jets. Don't make mistakes, Zach Wilson. If you don't make mistakes, we're gonna be all right. We got a chance. Our defense
we got a chance, exactly.
Yeah. Our defense can get the job done, and that's what they did in this particular game. And who knows what this Jets team could do, man. Breece Hall is getting healthy. They said there's no snap count or no count on everything. Maybe they lean on him the rest of the season. Maybe they lean on him, maybe a little bit of Dalvin Cook. I don't know what they're going to do with Dalvin Cook because Dalvin Cook hasn't looked to be, you know, the Dalvin Cook of old. But you lean on Breece Hall the rest of the season, man, and you got you might be able to, you know, steal some games out here. And a lot of people are talking about, man, Aaron Rodgers might be ready for the playoffs. I don't necessarily believe that, by that. I don't believe that. But hey, man, the Jets, if you ride Breece Hall, man, you could have an opportunity. Y'all were competitive last year. Y'all can be competitive again this year.
No, gotcha. Go ahead, keep it moving.
All right, Willie Jack. On to the next one. Now, let's go to who you call him, MVP Jared Goff, man. MVP Jared Goff.
Hey, come on with it, man.
The Detroit Lions, they go to Tampa Bay to take on the Bucs, man, and they come away with a huge win, man. A big win for Detroit, man. They win this game 20-6. Willie Jack, you want to take care of this one for you, man?
Yeah, man. I'm telling y'all, man. Like now, Tampa Bay is one of those teams, and I'm not gonna, just like we said, they're not a top tier league by any stretch of the imagination, but this is a competent team and a competitive team, and so and you're going on the road, and so this is still an impressive win for me for the Detroit Lions. So 30 for Goff, my dog Jared Goff, man. I can't believe it came to this. Jared Goff goes 30 for 44. 353 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions in this game. Amon-Ra St. Brown chews up the secondary to the tune of 12 catches, 124 yards, a touchdown as well. Jameson Williams, man, found the end zone, man. I think this is his second game back from the suspension.
Cardinal Ritter zone, might I add. You know what I'm saying?
Cardinal Ritter zone, my dog. Our dog Chop is a Cardinal Ritter high school football alum himself. And J-Mo has a 45-yard touchdown reception in this game. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what was happening. He spun himself around 3 times and then tricked it off. But glad to see he caught it and came down with it though. It's the biggest thing. And then rough day at the office, man, for the Big Bacon man in that Buccaneers offense. 19 for 37, 206 yards. Does throw an interception in this game. 6 for 77 for Godwin, and Mike Evans, man, struggles 4 for 49 yards. And so that connection necessarily hasn't been there. But this is what I'm talking about, man. Like this to me is still a very quality win. Like this Tampa Bay team, like I said, they're not a top tier or premier team in this league, but they're a team that's been playing competent and competitive football. And they've, like I said, are they 3-3 now? You know what I mean? And so it's just a quality win, and you go on the road to get it. Like I said, man, Jared Goff tunes you up for 350. And no interceptions on the road. They cruise and get this done. Jared Goff and these Lions are playing ball, man. I'm telling you. And like I said, if I'm letting the success tell me the story. You know what I mean? Because I should have looked up what their next 3-4 games is for like the next quarter of their season. But they 5-1 right now. The one loss being in overtime to a competitive Seahawks team as well. But matter of fact,
I got
Are you
you.
looking
Don't
it up
worry
for
about
me?
it. Don't worry about it, dog.
Matter-
You know I got you, big
Man,
dog.
I'm not doubt, man. Run me the next 4 games for the Lions, man, because they 5-1 right now, and I want to see just off the top of my head, man, what
Okay.
realistically I can see this look like.
So they got Baltimore
At home or away? Give me the home and away as well.
Okay. So they go to Baltimore.
Okay.
They at home against the Raiders.
Okay.
Then they have a bye week.
Okay.
Then they go to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers. They got the Chargers. And then they come home to take on the Bears.
Okay. You know what? Baltimore's up and down, but that's in Baltimore. So that's why that makes that tough. But see, to me, I hear that though. That's a winnable game for me.
It's a winnable game.
That's definitely a winnable game because that Detroit defense and man, your dog Aiden Hutchinson, they hunting up front now. And Lamar's a quarterback. He generally, you can get home and you can get to him, and then you can get the ball out of his hands as well. So Aiden Hutchinson could have a big impact on that game, or some of the other guys on that defensive line. That secondary is opportunistic. Like I said, man, the young Brian Branch, I'm assuming he should be back or back and fully healthy there. That's a winnable game. Man, I'm giving them the Bears. I'm giving them the Raiders. And honestly, that Chargers game is a winnable game. We don't know what's going to happen with Justin Herbert because Detroit's now, Jared Goff is going to score 30. And so if Jared Goff if that's a close game at the end of that Chargers game and Justin Herbert has the ball, then man, I can tell that's a dub. That looks like I can see 3-1. I can see that stretch being 3-1, and so now we've got a Jared Goff led Lions team that's what 8-2. Man, shit, man, hey, man, y'all better and let them win all of them. Let them beat Baltimore on the road, man. Then maybe y'all come around because it's gonna mean he had to probably play a pretty damn good game against a very an up and down but an aggressive Baltimore defense, man. So I'm telling y'all, man, Jared, y'all keep on playing with Jared Goff. They gonna fool around and go win 13 games this year, and I'm telling you, man, y'all keep watching.
Gotcha. Well, Jack, and I'm with you there, man. And that's the one thing I was gonna point out is that defense. That defense has been playing stingy, and it goes back to the way that they orchestrated this team. If we go back a couple years before, man, they really focused on the interior of this team very early in the draft with the draft of Aleem McNeil, with drafting Levi Ozuka. The defense, they drafted 2 defensive tackles, man. Two of the top or higher tier defensive tackles in the same season, man. One coming out of a smaller school. Of course, they drafted Aiden Hutchinson, number 1 overall last year. And then this year they start to branch out with their draft. They get a linebacker. They go get Alabama's nickel/safety. You know what I'm saying? So they start to orchestrate this defense and build it inside out, and then they want to go get CJ Gardner-Johnson too. So this defense has been very, very stingy over the last, from the start of the season, and it showed in this game, only giving up 6 points. And I like this win because it's so impressive because Tampa Bay's defense is very good too. Jared Goff had to finish this game without his top 2 running backs, without Gibbs, without David Montgomery. So they really didn't have much of a run game in this particular game, especially with the way that run defense play. Their run defense is pretty good anyway. So he had to get this done all himself. He had to go out there, put the team on his back, like Willie Jack said, threw for over 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Rod St. Brown was carving up that defense throughout that game. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing with this offense, and this is the reason why I like the way it's orchestrated. And I've always liked this myself. I feel like you always have a pretty good run game. Mm-hmm. So you have to be able to get physical in the trenches. You have to have some guys that can really operate in the intermediate level. You have to have multiple guys that can do that. I think they have that in Amon-Ra St. Brown and their rookie tight end in Sam Laporta. I think they got something special there. But now they get that guy that can really stretch the field. So you can't just cheat and put guys in the box now. You got a 4-2 guy that's running on the outside now. And it showed like, hey, man, you bring some guys down here, I can go right over the top and hit Jameson Williams, and we'll hit you for a touchdown. And Jameis, I think from this point on, as long as he can stay healthy and he doesn't get into any more trouble, Jameson Williams can be that type, that not necessarily a Deshaun Jackson, but a Deshaun Jackson type where all I need is 3 catches a game. I don't need 6, 7, 8 catches a game. All I need is about 2 or 3 just to show you that I'm dangerous enough to threaten over the top. And as long as I can do that, I can keep the defense on the heels. I keep them respecting us, and it just keeps everything else open for the offense and makes things easier for Jared Goff. So I like the way that this team is orchestrated, man. Good win for them. And yes, I do believe that it is a winnable game next week against Baltimore. I'm gonna have to think long and hard on who I'm gonna pick going into that game, dog.
Yeah, no, and you know what, man? Now that you just said that, you know who they need Jameson Williams to be? They need Jameson Williams to be Martavis Bryant to St. Brown's Antonio Brown. Just like you said, we need three for 80, big dog, and let one 3 for 80. That means one of them probably is a 40-yard touchdown or a 40-yard game. But like that's exactly what we need, man. We need enough of you to keep guys honest over the top and to keep that middle clear so Amon-Ra St. Brown can keep doing what he's doing. And then, like I said, when David Montgomery gets back in this backfield as well, because he was having phenomenal run to this point in the game this season before he gets injured. And so, like you said, man, just kind of make sure those defenses can't creep too close to the line of scrimmage and clog up the middle, man. And so that's exactly what you need. Yeah, you need three for 80 is gonna be a great stat line. And every other game he gets 3 for 80. Sometimes that might be 4 for 113. You know what I mean? But like I said, man, so that's I like what you said there.
Absolutely. With you there, Willie J. All right, man. On to the next game, man. Let's go to your boy Big Josh, man. Big Josh and the Buffalo Bills get the job done at home against the New York Giants, man. The struggling New York Giants, man. These guys are struggling to come away with a W this season. I'm sorry, I went to the wrong game. Clicked on the wrong one. But they're struggling to get a W this season. They played this game tough. They even had a chance to come away with the W towards the end of this game, but still couldn't pull it off, man. Buffalo comes away with this W, and they win this on 14-9. And it was nothing special, man. Nothing special from either team on offense. Both defenses came. They played well, but neither team bent. Or broke, I would say. Both teams bent, but neither team broke. Tyrod Taylor ended up starting this game, ended up being the quarterback for this entire game. And the thing with the Giants, man, is everything looked sloppy. Okay, it didn't look like it was operating the correct way. Poor clock management at the end of that first half.
Exactly.
Trying to go in, trying to score, trying to put together a touchdown. I think they had to use that last timeout. Still wasn't able to get the ball in. Didn't get as many plays as they probably didn't get as many opportunities that they should have had because of the play calling. I think it looked like Tyrod Taylor maybe checked to it like a run.
Exactly.
They get stuffed, and once they get stuffed, they have to use a timeout. Like it was just poor game management by Tyrod Taylor. You can see the frustration on Brian Daboll's face and just in his actions. They had multiple chances to win this game, and they couldn't pull it off, man. They couldn't pull it off. And I think at this point, it's like, man, the frustration has to be at its highest level in that Giants locker room in terms of, all right, man, what can we do? We need a W. We need to win some way, some form, some fashion. We got to be able to put something together. And right now, no matter what they do or what happens, they can't put them together. Now, of course, they were out there starting quarterback, but still, in those situations, I think they still had a chance to come away with the W in this game, and they weren't able to pull it off.
No, well, if you ask me, man, and I'm glad our dog ZB said what he said in the chat, man, because I was going to say the same thing. I thought Tyrod Taylor, dare I say, I prefer Tyrod Taylor the way he looked. Now, it wasn't a perfect game at all. And like when he goes 24 for 36, 20 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. He does lose a fumble in his game. And he has the terrible clock management at the end of that half. And so it wasn't a perfect game. But honestly, I think I liked the flow of this offense better with Tyrod back there than how it's looked with Daniel Jones. If I'm being honest, I really do. And that's why Sergeant ZB, man, he says Tyrod really didn't look terrible. He's always liked him, but how his career turned out. And yeah, he is a guy. He's just kind of had a bad deal, man.
Bad luck, man.
He was having success with the Buffalo Bills some years ago. The coaching staff pulls him after a win, and I think they were like 5-2. They pull him for, I can't even remember the name of the guy, the young guy they want to get in. The guy comes in and throws 3 interceptions in 3 possessions. I BS you not. That's a real stat. He finished that game, I think, with 4 interceptions. The backup they pulled him for, but they just made the move. And then he's in
Nathan Peterman.
Yeah, you remember that? 3 possessions. They pulled Tyrod in the game. I think they had the lead at halftime. They come in the second half for Peterson. He throws 3 interceptions on his next 3 possessions. Literally, the first throws of those possessions. It was terrible. And then also we got to remember he was the quarterback in Los Angeles with the Chargers when they drafted Justin Herbert. I want to say it's either when they drafted Justin Herbert his last year, but he was going to start.
I think before the year before that he was supposed to start, but
that's what it was.
He got like a punctured lung or something.
Exactly. No, that's what I was just gonna say. So he's supposed to start. He has a freak accident by the medical staff with the Chargers. They puncture a lung of his lung deflates. He could have died for one. I don't know whatever happened. I hope he sued the you know what out of him, or I don't know if that's still in somebody's court waiting to be handled. But somebody need to owe that man some bread.
EJ Manuel. It was EJ Manuel.
No, EJ Manuel was the quarterback for the Bills a while ago, but I think it was unless he was also there. I can't remember how long ago that was because Tyrod's been in the league for about a dozen years. But it was Peterman, I think, that came in for him for whatever reason. But yeah, like you said, so he's kind of had a bad deal there. But not then on the other side of this game, man, Barkley, Saquon, he returns from injury, has a decent day, 24 carries for 93 yards. But just like you said, here's the thing about this game. They lose this game by 5 points, right? Tyrod, and as much as we just sung your praises, Tyrod, you cost that team 3 points at the end of that half. Because like you said, you've got 7 seconds left or whatever it is. You check to a run. You get stuck. You've got to score. Like you can't. And you've been in the league long enough, Tyrod, 12 years now, a dozen years, where that's something I would expect Bryce Young to do, something C.J. Stroud to do, a guy that hasn't been here and doesn't know the game. Because you've got to know, if you check to a run, that means we are walking in the end zone because it's the last play of this half. And so you cost that team 3 points. Now, here's the other thing about that. The end of this game, and I know I skipped talking about Big Josh and those guys, but the end of this game ends on a terrible no call against Teron Johnson late on the goal line against Darren Waller.
Yeah.
And I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, I'm a Big Josh fan, so by extension, and I'm a big fan of Stephon Diggs, but by extension, I want to see the Bills do well, and I think me and Chop both picked the Bills to be our AFC Super Bowl participant this year, if I remember right in our bold predictions. And so we have high expectations for this team. That's a terrible call. And so you give away those 3 points at the end of the half, assuming they don't have something funky happen with the field goal attempt. Let's say they get those 3 points there. They should have had first and goal at the goal line to end that game, and now they're kicking the field goal, and now they win this game 15-14. And so, and it's hard to say, we picked those 2 plays out of the grand scheme of the game, but what I'm saying is, if everything else stays the same, Tyrod gets those 3 points there before half, and the referees, I don't know how we don't call that, especially with the calls that we do see in this league in certain situations, certain players, certain other teams. I mean, is the inconsistency on a lot of these calls is just astounding and infuriating. I can't believe they didn't get that flag on Waller.
If he gets that 3 points at the end before the half, there's no need to just go for the touchdown.
That's what I'm saying. They kick the field goal.
Yeah, they run that clock out and they just kick the field goal.
Mm-hmm. And so, and exactly right. And that's the thing about it as well. Like, even with the missed 3 points, it should have been first and goal, and they had 4 more chances to at least, maybe punch that thing in, and maybe they punch it in and get a win. But on the other side, man, tough day at the office for the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen. 19 for 30, 169, 2 touchdowns, does throw an interception. James Cook, 14 for 71. Stephon Diggs goes 10 catches for 100 yards. But honestly, that Buffalo Bills defense played ball. I mean, they showed up and they just played. They played ball. They made life hell for Big Josh in that offense. And I think I was talking in the chat earlier to ZB, man, when he had mentioned this game earlier. But I gotta think that Brian Daboll had a lot to do with the performance of that Giants defense. Like I said, he still knows that team and offense like the back of his hand. They haven't went away from what he was doing. They've just been doing a bad job of trying to continue Brian Daboll's offense. Ken Dorsey, the offensive coordinator, I mean. And so it's not hard to figure out that offense. And Daboll definitely must have got, I'm assuming he got with Wink Martindale, the defense coordinator for the Giants, and they put together an excellent game plan there because this was a very, very, very tough game offensively for Buffalo. And that's, like I said, thanks in no small part to Brian Daboll, I'm sure.
Absolutely, Willie Jack. All right, man, let's move on to the last game, Willie Jack, the Monday night game, man. We had Dallas go to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers, and Dallas picks up this win on the road. They win this game 20-17, man. What was your take on this one, Willie Jack?
Man, look here, man.
You about to get him? You about to get him, dog?
I'm a be chill.
Hold on.
No, I got it. Hold on. Let me say this. I'm not gonna stick too long.
I was just gonna give you some kudos real quick, man, because
okay.
I really like what you said earlier, man. It was perfectly said. But go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, okay, my fault. But it's just. And this was a hot topic, of course, in the Facebook group. You know what I'm saying? We get real active in there, man. So go ahead and put your big boy pants on, put a helmet on if you need to, man, because it gets a little physical in there.
You watch yourself. Watch yourself.
For sure. And shout out to one of them members, man. My dog, Ike Turner, man, Isaiah Holmes. He's not in the chat. He's not in the chat today, but he is a diehard Chargers fan, man. He is Justin Herbert's #1 fan. Or he's riding for his dog. And, man, when I tell you, man, he is fighting tooth and nail to defend the good name of Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert goes 22 for 37, 227 yards, 2 touchdowns, does throw an interception. He should have threw a second interception for sure. But Keenan Allen, 7 for 85, 1 touchdown. Now, here's the thing as well. Keenan Allen cooked Stephon Gilmore all night long. Keenan Allen short a good 70 yards in this game. And thanks in no smart part to Justin Herbert, who missed him for sure on a 40-yard pass up the left sideline and missed him a few more times, man. But this has always been my complaint or what I've always wanted to see from Justin Herbert. You can't deny the talent. It's phenomenal. It's top tier, top of the league, premium talent, one of the most talented arms in the game. It's hard to get any better than what he could do. But when the lights are on, this is when he doesn't step up. He doesn't show up in these moments. And so for all the great that he has, talent-wise, arm-wise, statistically, you know what I mean, and all these things, if the game is close and we had to have Justin Herbert be the guy to elevate us, to take us over the hump, to make up for the misstep of a defense, or make up for the misstep when we need him to step up and be one of those ones that say, hold on, the game's in the bounce right now. Don't matter what happened 58 minutes ago. Right now, the game's on the line. We can win this game right now. This is where he doesn't show up and doesn't make those plays. And quite frankly, he often is the guy that makes the play that seals it for the other team. And so, man, let me go ahead and toss it to you, man. I don't want to get caught up in my Justin Herbert rabbit hole.
Hey, say what you got. Say what's on your chest, man. Say what's on your chest. But I will say, for one, a good bounce back win for Dallas after coming off their loss against San Francisco, that terrible loss where we thought it would be a lot more competitive than what it would turned out to be. You bounce back and y'all came back and y'all got a W. Okay, now, do I feel like there's more that Dallas can do? Yes, there's more that Dallas can do. There's some things I feel like they could have done better. I don't like the way. And I know I stirred the pot a little bit, and I talked a little bit about TP, but I still think TP is there. I still think TP can make some noise, but I don't like the way that I don't like the style of their run game. I think TP, what I see a lot of is running Tony Pollard right up in the gap, right up in the mix of these defenses in the piles. He's not really trying to get him out in space and do what he's really good at. You know what I'm saying? And he's also good at catching the ball out of the backfield. I don't see a lot of design plays for him catching the ball out of the backfield. The one big play that he had in this particular game was off of a broken play, not even designed to go to him. Dak Prescott ended up finding him, and TP ended up catching the ball and doing something with it, making a big play in this game, which turned
60 yards. Yeah.
But I think there should be more design plays for Tony Pollard in this offense, especially because on your offense, you really only have CeeDee Lamb. I mean, you got CeeDee Lamb, you got Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks is, he's cool. He's a cool number 2. But TP should be your other playmaker. You know what I'm saying? So you have to find ways and create ways to get him the ball in space and create opportunities for him to make plays for you. Because if you don't do that, if you just treat him like he's just an average Joe, then that's what he's going to be. He's going to perform like an average Joe unless, he end up breaking some runs or something like that. But you keep on running them right into the back of his guards. I mean, no space. I mean, there's not much that he can do. There's not much that he can do, and I think he's fully capable of being more. And I know a lot of people feel like, hey, maybe he needs, somebody to do that for him. Like last year, they had Zeke to run in the back of those guards and running between the tackles. So they primarily used Tony Pollard to run out to in space. You know, maybe that's an effect of Kellen Moore being out of the building. You know what I'm saying? Which was could have been a revenge game for Kellen Moore, who came out on fire.
They did
the first half and scored a touchdown, and I'm like, okay, Kellen Moore finna get him some get back. But ultimately, Dallas ended up slowing them down. The defense ended up playing a lot better, and also on top of that too, I know you said Herbert didn't show up in the top moments. Herbert missed a lot of throws in this game.
He did. Throws
that they could have easily won them this game, man. Overthrows, you know, and just missing wide open guys. And like you said, Keenan Allen was cooking. He could have hit Keenan Allen all last night. So I just felt like this game could have been won by the Chargers, but Dallas did enough. I still don't feel any different about either team or either quarterback. I still don't feel any different about either quarterback. Neither team grew up. I'll say that.
No, that's a very good way to say it.
I put it in the chat, and I was like, man, which team is gonna grow up? Both of these teams have some growing up to do in order to be legit contenders, and neither one of them grew up in my eyes. They both, you know, made mistakes. So I don't know. We'll see what these teams turn into, man.
No, for sure. And interesting as well, really quick, Dallas wins this game by 3. The Chargers passed up a chance, and that was earlier in the game. It was in the third quarter, but they passed up a chance at an easy field goal, or like, you know, a field goal from the 12 to go for it on 4th and 1. At this time, they were losing 10-7. They pass up a chance to tie the game 10-10, if you remember, and they go for it on 4th and 1 from like the 12 or the 6, whatever the case, they get stopped. And so, like I said, man, just another example, just leaving points on the field, especially in a night where Herbert is playing as just bad football, man. It just wasn't good, clean football. And not to be outdone, and Dallas also left points on the board as well. In the fourth quarter, he misses TP in the end zone on like a wheel route or whatever it was. Just flat just overthrows, throws him out the box.
To seal the deal. That would have sealed the deal.
Exactly. Nailing the coffin right there. And instead you got to take the 3 and then give the ball back to Justin Herbert. But I've said it, man, y'all already know, man. If the game is, if it's crunch time, we got to give the ball back to Justin Herbert, man. We can count that dub. And what's he do? He goes ahead and throws an interception to Stephon Gilmore, who probably needed that interception because, like I said, man, Keenan Allen was out there breaking that man's heart, snap at the snap. Anytime he was lined up, Keenan Allen got everything he wanted in that matchup. But like I said, man, Dallas finds a way to get a W. I don't think either team, or I don't think Dallas realistically should feel great or optimistic about the outlook of their season going forward or this offense. But like I said, man, a win is still a win, and they find a way to get it done.
Gotcha. One more thing I'll say about this game, Willie Jack. Staley, man, you out.
Man, you already know where I'm at with that. Yeah, he's big.
Y'all better get it together, Staley. You better find a way. I don't know how you gonna do it, but you better find a way or you out. And on top of that, you're showing inconsistencies in who you are as a head coach. If you're gonna be a gutsy head coach, be a gutsy head coach. If you're gonna be a conservative head coach, be a conservative head coach. What you just pointed out, Willie Jack, was Brandon Staley not being who he normally is in the prime time spot in the big game, not being that guy that go for it. I just saw you go for it from your own 20 or inside your own 30, you know what I'm saying, on 4th down, you know what I'm saying, in a crucial spot, you know, on like a regular game or against another team. Now in a big game, you don't go for it, and when you have an opportunity to, hey man, if you be who you are, man, be consistent. Be who you are. That's what's gonna carry you where you need to go, man. So that's why I feel like it.
No, I got you. Yeah. Go ahead and take us to the Thursday preview.
Nah, I got you. Thursday night preview, man. Thursday night preview. We got Jacksonville heading to New Orleans to take on the Saints, man. We got games. And actually, dang, I already did it. It don't matter. The Thursday night game, Jacksonville going to New Orleans to take on the Saints. And I'll wrap it up with it whenever we finish up this one, Willie Jack.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Thursday night game tomorrow night, man. Who you got in this game, dog?
I'm taking Jacksonville, man. And I mean, it's short week on the road at New Orleans. New Orleans in that defense. We have seen Jacksonville be a little up and down offensively. And so this could be a game on a short week in which maybe that Saints team could like I said, man, make it difficult on Trevor Lawrence and that offense. Maybe they even get a takeaway or two. But I can't trust New Orleans to score 20 points either way, even if they get the ball back. And so I'll by de facto, I'll take Jacksonville to get this done on the road. I don't expect a ton of points in this game. Like I said, with New Orleans defense, I think still being very competent. It is a short week for Jacksonville. So I'll go Jacksonville 23 to New Orleans 17. I'll go 23-17, Jacksonville getting this done.
Got you. And I'm gonna go 23-20. I'm giving them 20.
Okay.
That's it. I'm gonna go 23-20 this game. And the reason why I'm going that, I'm like you, Willie Jack. I don't trust this New Orleans offense. I don't trust them to put up points. I don't trust them to get going in a short week, especially after how bad we've seen them play this past week. I did see some improvement from Jacksonville, so I expect that improvement to carry over in this game. Now, here's another key. Trevor Lawrence got nicked up this past game. You know, he's questionable going into this Thursday night game.
Oh, that's right.
You know, he may or may not play. You know what I'm saying? So if he doesn't play, and that means it's going to be a little bit of trouble for this for this Jacksonville team. I believe CJ Beathard is their
That's
backup.
what I was just going to ask. Who's the backup? Okay.
Yeah, I think CJ Beathard. I'll double check that. But if CJ Beathard is a starter, then I think that's trouble for Jacksonville. But as of right now, I think Trevor Lawrence is going to find a way to play in this game. And yeah, I was right, really, Jack. It's CJ Beathard. So okay. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to find a way to play this game. Like I said, I think they looked a lot better this past week, you know, than they've looked in the past. So if they can continue to keep that going, I don't think New Orleans will have a chance to kind of to beat them in this game. And you know what? I said 23. I know you're writing in pen. My bad, Willie Jack. It's not going to be a high-scoring game. Give me 19-13, man. 19-13, Jacksonville beats New Orleans on the road.
Okay. And so, yeah, but we both see it the same way, man. Still like a relatively low-scoring game. Like I said, man, New Orleans defense probably keeps them in this one, keeps them fighting. And like I said, the New Orleans offense just don't anticipate that they can do enough to put enough points on the board to maybe pull this one out. Gotcha.
All right, Willie Jack, I got one thing I really want to do, man. Like I said, we're a third of the way through the season, and I know one thing I wanted to do was since we're a third of the way, man, I want to run through just the quick standings real quick. I don't want to run through every single team, but I'm just gonna run off the division leaders real quick.
Okay.
Each of these divisions, man, and I'm gonna start off with the AFC, man. And in the AFC, so as of right now, the teams leading division, we got the Miami Dolphins sitting in first. They are sitting at 5-1. In the AFC North, we got the Baltimore Ravens. They sitting at the top of the division at 4-2. And AFC South, Jacksonville Jaguars, they sit at the top of that division with 4-2. In the AFC West, we got the Kansas City Chiefs sitting at 5-1. So far, Willie Jack, our bold predictions not looking too good.
Not at all.
Kansas City not winning this division, man. They looking like they're in control of that division. All right, as of right now. And then I believe if we had to call off the wild card teams right now, there's usually three. The Buffalo Bills would be one. And I think it'd probably be some type of tiebreaker.
I think my Steelers is in there as well.
We got a few teams with 3 wins. So we got the Jets, they got 3 wins. Pittsburgh got 3 wins. Cleveland got 3 wins. Cincinnati got 3 wins. Colts, Texans, and the Raiders all got 3 wins, man. So there'll probably be a lot of tie breaking up in there between those teams, man. So that's where we sit in the AFC. And moving on to the NFC, we got the Philadelphia Eagles. They're leading the division at 5-1. The Detroit Lions are leading the NFC North at 5-1. And the NFC South, the Tampa Bay Bucks. The Tampa Bay Bucks, man, sitting at 3-2. They leading the division. And in the NFC West, man, we got the San Francisco 49ers sitting at the top at 5-1. And if we had to go to wild card with them, Dallas Cowboys will be one of those teams at 4-2. And then just like the AFC, we got a lot of 3-win teams, man. We got the Commanders, the Falcons, the Saints, the Seahawks, and the Rams, man. All teams sitting at 3 wins. And yeah, man, they would have to do some tie breaking to see who would be those wild card teams if the playoffs start today, man. So that's just an early look at what's going on as of right now.
I thought you was gonna ask me something. Oh, okay.
Pretty much all the teams are still in it right now. And I guess I will throw a question in there real quick, man. Which team do you think has been the biggest surprise for you thus far in terms of where they're sitting at?
Ooh.
Look at that. Look at that. You asked for one, so I'm coming with it, man. You asked for one.
I will say, hold on. So we got Kansas City in the West, Jacksonville in the South, Baltimore in the North, and was it Miami in the East? I mean, I don't think any of those names are relatively surprising. Let me see. NFC, we had what? Detroit in the North, Philly in the East. I guess Tampa Bay leading the South, I guess. And then the NFC West is San Francisco. So I would say, I guess, maybe Tampa Bay leading the South. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess out of those names, I mean, because everybody else seems pretty likely or it seems reasonable to expect. I think me and you both, I think we really missed the mark on the Saints on how good that they would be with the schedule when it looked so soft. And then also just seeing how bad Tampa Bay had been. And then with Baker Mayfield fighting to be the starter a week before the season starts, and then now they're leading that division at the quarter mark or a third of the way through. So maybe Tampa Bay and where they're sitting is probably the one that's the most surprising.
Gotcha. And yeah, Tampa Bay I think is a little bit more surprising as of right now. Just the slow start for the Cincinnati Bengals was kind of surprising for me too. You know, just a slow start.
Oh no, yeah, for sure.
I didn't know. I don't think I expected it. But
I thought you was asking like of the division leaders. Okay.
No, just in general. My bad. I was just asking. You know, if you had any specific surprises. But
I think I say who's one of the more pleasant surprises is definitely those Texans, man. I think.
Yeah,
I was a big D'Amico Ryans fan when he was a player for the Texans. I really was a fan of his game back when he was a player. And then CJ Stroud, man, is as dicey as it kind of was for him during the draft process. And so he had a lot of doubters and a lot of people kind of taking shots at him. And then even us as well, we didn't expect him to kind of hit the ground running the way he did. So seeing those Texans and all those young guys play as well as they're playing, they're right there in the mix with Jacksonville for that division in the South as well. And they've already won that game, that matchup head to head so far. So I think the Texans would be one of the bigger surprises for me as well.
Okay, gotcha. Willie Jack. Well, hey, look, man, that's it. That's all, man. We can't. We came. We saw. We conquered, man. You got a game ball. You got a game ball, man. Who's getting the game ball?
Oh man, yeah, you know what, man? Game ball before we get out this thing, man. Talk about return of the Mac, man. The Mac, Zach Becker, man, our favorite Dale co-worker, he came back. He said last week he was coming back for the title, man, and he definitely did, man. So he was in the chat early and often, man, and helped even close out the show with us as well, man. And shout out to my dog, man. He know what the program is, man. He said Def Texans and Mike Tomlin finding a way into the postseason, and you know that, man. By hook or crook, man, blind, cripple, or crazy, we going to find some way to get in the dough, man. So I'm with it. But Zach Becker, man, making a return for the crown, man, game ball.
I heard Florida ain't got taxes. That's what I heard. No, man, I mess with you, man. I mess with you. But yeah, man, I think that's about it, man. We appreciate each and every one of y'all for checking in and tapping in with your boys, man. We come in. You know we talk that football every Wednesday at 7. You know we gonna be back Sunday mornings. I can't wait to do it.
Come on now.
Man, it's been a while since I've been on Chop Willie in the morning. It feel like too long, but I'm gonna be back this week, man. So yeah, better tune in with us Sunday morning, 10 a.m. We live this week, baby. We coming live, man. So make sure y'all tune in with your boys, but we're gonna be there live and in full effect. And who knows? Maybe the week after that, we may have a little bit of surprise for him, Willie Jack.
You got something up your sleeve? Oh yeah, you let me know if you got something up your sleeve, man.
We may have something up our sleeves, man. You don't even know it yet. Don't even worry about it. Take your time, pick on it. Take your time, pick on it.
I trust you. But hey, man, like my dog said, man, that's it. That's all, man. Came, saw, and we conquered, man. Real quick, man, for the rundown before we get out this thing, man. The fam band was definitely in the building, man. My mom's, my sister, my auntie. Appreciate y'all, love y'all as always, man. Like I said, man, our reigning game ball winner again, man, came back for the crown, man. Our favorite co-worker, ZB, man, Zach Becker in the building as well, man. Appreciate you. Man, day one game, Jarrell was in the building as well. Jarrell, I don't know if you can even see my message, man. I think I might have accidentally hit the block button on Jarrell when I was trying to reply to a comment, and I've been trying to figure out how to unblock you, big dog. So hopefully you can still see me. And just know, it was an accident, man. I'm gonna figure that out and get you back in this thing, man. Brenton Law was in this thing, man. T Tate was in the building for sure as always, man. And y'all know what's going on, man. I know we ran a little late, so we'll go ahead and get into it, man. Now y'all can say it with me at home, cause you know what's coming. If I forgot to say your name, damn, my bad. but charge it to my head and do not charge it to my heart because you know we thinking about you. Appreciate the love and support as always. Just like my dog said, tap in, man. Sunday, 10 o'clock. Chop in the morning, get busy. Chop in the morning, getting real busy, man. 10 o'clock, we're doing a little bit of this, man. Dropping some of those fantasy nuggets, man, that I know come in handy for y'all guys and gals and y'all fantasy matchups. So can't wait to see y'all then. Until then, y'all stay smooth. Y'all be safe. Y'all have a good night. Peace.
Peace.